Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first race of the day in the Super Metroid Zelda 3 Combo Randomizer Tournament. I am Big Box, commentating alongside Zeruvian and Razor Flame on tracking. Zeruvian, how you doing?
Doing quite well. It's a beautiful day, and it's a good day for another race.
Yeah, today we have Eykir versus Isotheis, and what are we hoping to see out of this race today?
I think we're looking to see something nice and clean, nothing too rude, and a lot of good movement. Remember, everyone that's here now made it into the brackets. That means we got a lot of talent floating around.
I've been away for a bit because of work, so how far into brackets are we at this point?
This is the third match of brackets. We opened it up last night with a couple of good pairings, and Eykir and Iris are going to take us through, with the winner having a chance to play against Maniacal. Tall order there.
Oh, so we're just getting started. All right, yeah, Maniacal's a good competitor. That'll be a match to look forward to.
Actually, more like a round of 48, if you would, but yeah.
Now, are there any particular spot where we're hoping we do or don't find progression?
I think it's pretty obvious to say you don't want to see it on pedestal, you don't want to see it on Aga Ledge. Depending on what your dungeon layout is, you probably don't want to see it on Pyramid Fairy either. But those are the obvious three.
Yeah, speaking for myself, the only troll location I really like is Showcase Showdown. The missiles in Lower Norfair that's hard locked by space jump.
And that's one of the things that you don't want to see. Although if you actually have the ability to check it early, you know that you need to find space jump before you can go forward. And that's Absolutely. A little bit easier to handle than not. Looks like we are off here.
See Iris doing some arm pumping. You shift forward a pixel whenever you aim your gun while moving. Are we still on normal logic, or did we switch to hard for brackets?
Whole tournament is normal. Looks like Eykir is going to go check what's in Retro Bryn.
That's one item in logic, and the second one that can be gotten with a damage boost.
Iris seeing that missile pack on the island. She's not going to be picking that up later. Going to opt to the Sanctuary. There's our key to Hyrule Castle already.
If I recall correctly, the castle has what? 2 small keys and the map?
Pretty sure that one chest key is for the sewers at Dark Cross.
I believe that the dungeon and the escape are all one item pool, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, Sanders, 1 small key, 2 on a guard or a pot. Okay, so that tells us we might have something at Dark Cross. I didn't see what Eykir... Oh, there's our Various suit really early.
That is a crazy early and out of logic Various suit. Eykir's going to be happy to find that already because it's going to allow them to do some things in Norfair as soon as they find their Morph Ball.
Meantime, I believe Iris saw a buck at Lumberjack Ledge, and then 3 bombs at the Morph Ball pedestal. That'll be handy for early Link to the Past exploration.
Now, I didn't see if Iris checked the tree pull or not. If so, then obviously we don't see anything good here. I think it was maybe just magic. No, the crab is magic.
Yeah, Sandra says blue pendant on Hera and regular crystals on Desert and Eastern. Alrighty, this is the Thieves' Hideout that Iris is checking, and she finds some missiles there. Eykir having a little bit of trouble with the climb up, which this has always been tricky, at least for me. It's just not easy to do cleanly, you know.
I always get about 3/4 of the way up, and then this one last section that one of those 2 pirates will get me every single time. But if you're quick enough or you're climbing up the center with ledge grabs, oh, it is a beautiful sight.
Alright. Iris is into Kakariko Town. She's checking Blind's basement first. And I don't think we've seen Link's house yet.
I think you're right in that both of our runners opted to go to Sanctuary instead of checking Link's house. Honestly, getting up to Kakariko as early as you can, that is a huge density of checks.
Iris finds our first pack of power bombs. Two is enough, but if you find a third one, that means you don't have to rely on drop luck from the Metroid Centurion or backtracking to refill if the ice beam doesn't show up.
Yeah, you're looking for 3 power bomb packs. Even if you only have 2, getting some drop luck is nice.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying just now.
But also because early on you're probably not going to see regular bombs. Those power bombs are going to allow you to move Super Metroid a lot easier than, of course, provided a morph ball.
Yeah. Also need to be very careful with your power bomb con. Playing vanilla Super Metroid randomizers, I've managed to soft lock myself by running out of power bombs. It's not that hard to do. Laser Flame. Lumberjack Ledge was just a green rupee.
We saw Iris go to buy 10 bombs at the south side of Kakariko. Eykir's not going to have to do that because he's already got a few bombs to start with. Maybe we'll see a drop of them in a chest up here.
Chicken Hut was a red rupee. Meantime, Iris into the well as Eykir is in the forest. Samaria! Looks like we might be getting to Stackerico here. Iris appears to be mildly annoyed that she paid for bombs and then found some.
It looks like that cane is the only thing that the well had for us here. That means there's not a lot in Kakariko. Just a little bit. Having to go back down to get this check that Eykir is easily able to bomb in one shot. We see Eykir getting the bomb luck from a couple of these chests, and Iris is going to be 50 rupees short.
Chadron, yeah, I absolutely jumped the gun on that. Looks like Iris is backtracking this. I'm guessing that she wants to grab the rupees again so she can pay the bottle vendor.
Yeah, that's a good call, because even in an early sphere check, bottle vendor could very well have the next item you might need to go forward.
And pay $100 to get back 20. Oof.
You gonna see a red cane escape from Iris here?
What kind of damage do the Samaria blocks do? I've never been clear on that.
I would imagine it's similar to Fighter Sword.
Uncle's got a 20 bucks in his wallet. And second pack of power bombs in the moat chest. Library item is red boomerang. Absolutely not coming back for that.
We are going to see Iris go ahead and attempt this escape with just the red cane. This is fun for me. Ooh. You see a high jump boots on the race game.
Yeah, that's great. And yes, Sandres is right. That puts that Varia suit in logic. Yeah, I tend to describe high jump boots as the best item you don't think about until you don't have it, because it makes your movement so much more potent.
There's some rooms in the game that if you don't have high jump boots, they're that much harder to go through. This is going to make both of our runners extremely comfortable in a lot of those higher vertical sections.
And I believe I saw $20 at Link's house. Alrighty, looks like Eykir is heading for the... Okay, maybe he's heading for the Eastern Palace area.
At the very least, he's going to be checking Sarashula's closet here.
Yeah,
3 chests.
Yeah, 3 chests, and he can also ask where the green pendant is if he wants.
Meanwhile, Iris finding the half magic here in the front of Escape. Very good to see, especially if you're using a magical weapon to get through.
Energy tank for Super Metroid was the only thing Sahasrara really had, but that's absolutely welcome. And there is our 3rd power bomb in Zelda Cell.
It's like Iris setting up for... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Iris did the death warp there, as you were saying, and the power... And we've got 3 power bombs now, so we, as I was saying earlier, we don't need to rely on drop lock.
I'm going to see a dark traversal with the red cane here. This is a lot of fun. I like this one.
Eykir at the dam. Money item is a red rupee. Seen a lot of those. And in the dam is our shovel. Remind me, there is a shovel spot we can get to in Light World, right?
Yeah, the vanilla flute spot right there in the grove.
That's what's usually there. Okay. Heading to Mini Moldorm. Looks like Iris is doing well on the dark rooms. Ridiculously good bomb strats on the Mini Moldorms.
Of course, Mini Moldorm Cave not having too much for us here, just 300 rupees and an Ether Medallion. We don't know if we need that yet.
Well, the 300 rupees puts us that much closer to King Zora, so... Meantime, Iris has made it through the dark rooms to the back of the escape for an energy tank, a map, and missiles. Energy tank's always nice, not really progression, but... So I think map being where it was means that there was an item in Dark Cross. Well, a prize in Dark Cross, I should say.
You know, Ike, you're having to be very careful here. These crabs will take him out in one shot.
Very nice.
Using those bombs to get out of dodge, that's always good. Flute. And a flute. Wow.
All right, that gets us access to Upper North here through the cross-game transition at Death Mountain. So you may be right that we have some Morphless Norfair shenanigans to do. Yeah, Razorflame, what I was saying was since Since we saw the key in Sanctuary and the map where we did, that means Dark Cross was a prize. That's what I was trying to say. As our good friend Chage would say, if you will all rise for the national anthem of Hyrule. Alrighty, where does Eykir go from here? What are his options?
Well, the first thing he did is pick up more bombs. Those will be useful for later.
Checking the desert area first. Got a full heart on the ledge. Dina's Cave is also in logic here, but desert itself is not without the book, I believe. Ooh, Iris taking to death right by the Ice Rod Cave. Hope she goes back for it, because that flu could very well be progression.
It looks like she'll probably visit that again later.
Agita's Cave having super missiles. Eykir's going to save and quit back to probably Link's house. Iris on her way up to Sahasrara. Very thin on Zelda health so far. I think we've seen 2 or 3 energy tanks. I know 2 for sure. I'm not sure if we've seen a 3rd, though.
Have we even seen any pieces of heart to this point?
I think we saw 1. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, Ranger Flame is saying no, we haven't.
Iris's menu is showing 1. That could have been what our Dark Cross item was.
Alrighty, it looks like Eykir, considering where he is, he'll probably do the dungeon now.
So Iris is going to check her race game and get those high jump boots. She'll be happy to see that. Or no. She's going back because she remembers she has a shovel.
$20 at shovel spot. Nothing really doing there, but again, it's that much closer to Zora.
Yeah, it's not my idea of buried treasure, but you see 400 rupees in the count. Zora's got to be talked about soon if we find a glove.
Glove and flippers are what put Zora in logic, correct?
Just a glove. You can walk there through Zora's domain. Flippers would be the alternate access through the whirlpool.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And Eykir finds a heart piece. That must be the one Iris found. Alright, Iris getting her race game check-in. So as long as we've got our racers repeating checks, let's give a few shout-outs. I want to shout out Total for the code logic that makes the randomizer work. This is so much fun for me to watch, even though I don't really do it myself, you know?
And it's been fun for me to play on the side, even though I'm not as good as these runners being presented right now. 2 games we grew up with 25 years later. Never would have thought you would have had them connected through the internet.
I never grew up with Zelda. Somehow I never took to them. The first one I beat was Zelda 2, and that was just 5 or 6 years ago that I did that.
Believe it or not, I have 2 carts of Link to the Past. I didn't actually finish the game until I was in my young 20s. That's one of the things I grew up with. For all that time I put into it, these runners put on a show. Make sure you follow them. They're very good.
So another question. I described high jump boots as the best Super Metroid item you don't think about until you don't have it. Is there an item you would describe as like that for Link to the Past?
You know, I want to say it's probably either the blue cane or the cape, just because the number of safety shenanigans you could do with either one of those items.
All right, Iris into Retro Ring, gonna get her Varia out of this. Eykir heading up to the top of Death Mountain. I believe Eykir can get what's in Spectacle Rock and just check what's on top. On top, it's just missiles. And inside is power bombs.
So we're probably going to see Eykir go ahead, drop right down, and visit Norfair. Oh no, he wants the power bomb pack.
Blaine Evans saying tempered sword for quality of life in Link to the Past. Based on having watched Master Sword Silverless Ganon, I would absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, the tempered sword makes a lot of the late game a little bit more comfortable, especially that Ganon fight. If you don't find silvers, you're talking about 12 spins instead of 24.
Alrighty, Eykir getting that's our first look into Norfair. Gonna head straight through the heated room gauntlet to start. The pre-high jump energy tank is also in logic at this point.
Yeah, but that's a room without the morph ball. You don't want to commit to it too much, because if you fall in and you can't get that Sova in time, you're stuck waiting for a little while.
Point taken. Another 300 rupees in the cathedral is okay. Eykir's not going to try to get that. Eykir's not going to try to get that. It is possible though.
Meanwhile, as Eykir makes his way through Rising Tide, we see Iris making the play to go check out the front of Eastern Palace.
Rising Tide. I haven't heard that name for this room before. Makes a lot of sense though.
Yeah, for every different name variant I've heard, that's one of my favorites for a room that you didn't think had a name.
I know the second room in that gauntlet is just the cathedral. Meantime, Eykir finds 20 rupees in Bubble Mountain itself, and possibly Eykir might be able to get up to the Super Missile door to check the pre-reserve item.
You can get up there with a pretty tight wall jump, but we're probably going to see him. Yeah, that's what he's going for.
Coming close. First prize in Eastern, the mushroom.
Yeah, this wall jump is not very kind, and it's not easy. Looks like he could have had that there, but he just canceled out of it with an angle on the wrong spot.
Yeah, I've done that before. It's so frustrating. Ooh, there's our mirror in Eastern. Eastern paying out.
That's going to give our runners a chance to have a look at the Tower of Hera. Again, only 2 items there, but the Cerulean Seed progression, words are hard, can be anywhere.
Looks like Iris is going to go for dark rooms to get to the vanilla big key chest. Eykir committing to this like a champ. He keeps coming close and just not quite making it. Alrighty, Iris is through the dark rooms and will be at the big key chest in just a moment.
She is going to have to do a little bit of combat in this room, though. It's a little hard to deboost through that bubble guard with only 3 hearts.
And there we go. He made it for the hammer.
Now that's interesting, because that gives us East Death Mountain in logic here. You can't check what's behind there without a morph ball.
Yeah, big key chest pays out with the big key itself. And I don't think that hammer is in logic, because those hard wall jumps might only be expected on hard. I didn't catch what Iris found in the big chest.
Was only a big 20, unfortunately.
However, that is all 3 prizes, so Iris will just have to head back there at some point to do the boss. Eykir on his way to Vanilla Speed Booster. There will be 2 checks here. First one is even more power bombs. Wow, Seed's being really generous with those. And some more super missiles.
Getting a good amount of power bombs early, meaning when we do find our regular bombs, might even see the runners give them a pass. Unless they find them in Link to the Past, of course.
Regular bombs might also be our can fly for getting to places like the Gauntlet.
That is true.
Eykir looping around to head for the wave beam room. There will be another 2 checks there, and then I think that'll be everything that Eykir can get to in Norfair.
Now, it's interesting to point out, the second check behind the missile item is technically out of logic because the game expects you to have a morph ball if you happen to fall down. Oh, and unfortunately getting hit by the flame off the Fune there. Right off through the platform.
Yeah, Eykir... Yeah, there was a Zelda heart, a full heart there, so Eykir, considering how thin the seed has been, I would have expected Eykir to go back for that, but looks like he's not going to. Chowdral, I believe you're right. We can get back up the red tower with the high jumps, which does get us to alpha power bombs.
Iris making a good call here. They're going back for Ice Rod Cave. Going to find her flute in just a moment.
Eykir playing it super safe on the way back through the Gauntlet. Alrighty, so do you think Eykir chases that hammer, or do you think he checks alpha power bombs?
That's an interesting question. What does the hammer on its own really give us, aside from... Because he hasn't been to Eastern yet, so he does not have a mirror.
Ooh, Eykir's got to do some tricky wall jumps to get out of here since he doesn't have that morph. I never thought about that.
Yeah, this one is similar to the Cathedral Escape. It's a little bit less forgiving on the side there, but just a little more wiggling and he should be able to get out just fine. Keep bonking on it. I think this one's easier without high jump boots.
Meantime, Iris is loosing the goose.
And the chat's keen to point out, until Eykir gets a mirror, that hammer's really just better as a combat option and not much else.
Valid point, because yeah, the hammer does, since that hammer does temperature damage, it's a very handy weapon. Niterific, are you saying that's what Eykir should be doing, standing on the left ledge?
That one risen ledge there on the left wall, I think you can just jump from that and wall jump right in the center.
There we go.
There, he got it. And what we didn't see, because we don't have a lamp, is Iris rescuing the old man, getting that respawn point. Unfortunately, he's only got a 20 in his pocket for her trouble.
Eykir backing up back to north here because to check that one item right here. Good call. And it's a heart. Absolutely worth going back for, considering how thin the ammo has been. Ooh, but I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, I'm a derp. I was about to say he could have powerbombed and killed the gamer, but no, he doesn't have Morph Ball.
This is looking like it could be one of those late morph seeds. Or we'll find it very soon here.
Meantime, Iris checks the Crocomire escape. It's a big 20. And it looks like Iris is not going to chase that Variasuit.
Tell you what she is going to chase right now. She's going to use that hammer and go look at Tower of Hera. Not hammer, mirror.
Right, so we don't have a fire source, so we're hoping that the small key has locked itself in the basement, correct?
That is one thing we want to see. The other thing we need to keep track of is she does not actually have anything to fight Moldorm with at this moment.
Eykir making the play to Eastern. He'll get that mushroom and his mirror out of that. Alrighty, meantime, Iris is in the Dark World. I saw a red crystal at Pod and Swamp, the 5/6s. Thank you, Sandres. Didn't see what the other two pendants were.
We saw a green pendant at Skull Woods.
That seems to happen a lot. Alright, Iris gets the big key from the...
Is that a map chest?
There's the map. Valhallen, the suggestion I was offered, having only played Link to the Past once, was learn the vanilla game first, then try the randomizer.
Oh, absolutely, because there's a lot of stuff that you might not realize actually happens in the vanilla game that you see people play randomizer all the time, and there's a lot of things the randomizer can do that kind of plays with how the original game was meant to be played. Like, for example, all these different ways that the Cane of Samaria has been proven to be broken over the past few years.
And Sandra saying Meyer is the red pendant. Thank you, Sandras. Iris playing super careful around the mini Moldorms. There's a bottle. That is a version 11 change. Bottles are always found empty now. Okay, so that is one prize. So we have the map, the small key, and the other prize unaccounted for. There's the small
There's your
key.
key.
All right, so now Now we're hoping that stuttering. And now we're hoping that the last item is on Moldorm, so that means the compass is in the basement.
Unfortunately, right now we're not going to be able to find out because while we have access to Moldorm, we have nothing to beat him with.
Yeah, Eykir's got the hammer to do that with. Iris is making the heated room check. She might get there too. I don't know her skill level with wall jumps.
Eykir's still going through here on just 3 hearts. This is going to be a little bit of a scary last room to check the vanilla big key location.
Chaldron, Baja Blood, yeah. Shovel Spot was $20. So yeah, I believe you two are correct. We have two options left. We have we have Alpha Power Bombs and we have the Mushroom Turn In.
Right, Eykir's going to see his big 20 in the chest and dip out of Eastern. Iris is going to climb this bubble mountain, probably in the same fashion. No, she's going for the opposite wall jump.
Well done.
First try.
Eykir's got the Shovel Spot. We know that's nothing. He doesn't. But after that, he'll most likely turn that mushroom in.
So what are we hoping to see off of that next progression spot?
I would hope for Speed Booster or Screw Attack. So I like seeing No More Ball Shenanigans, and those would both get us as far as Big Pink and Brinstar. If we also find Wave Beam somewhere, that plus Speed Booster would get us to Crocomire via Frog Speedway. Alrighty, just a heart piece. I believe that's only the second one we found. And alright, I believe Alpha Power Bombs is the last play Eykir has. Iris gets the wall jump up to the Norfair pre-reserve. Eykir's got Tower of Hera he can check, and he can beat Moldorm. I do not recall if the hammer is in logic for them. I don't know how. Oh, East Death Mountain too. Raging Flame saying that the hammer is in logic.
Yep, the hammer is in logic if you have the high jump to get access to it.
Yeah, reason I wasn't sure was that the wall jumps up to the Gauntlet and Criteria are not in logic except on hard, and I wasn't sure if those were considered too difficult in Bubble Mountain.
I think the option to hop off the other side in Bubble Mountain makes that easier too.
Criteria, we have not seen Ice Beam.
Yeah, the Ice Beam is required to have access to the Red Tower climb in logic. That doesn't mean our runners won't do it. What that probably means, however, is that our progression's actually in East Death Mountain.
Yeah, Ranger Flame, it's been a long time since I played Vanilla Super Metroid. If Red Tower requires Ice Beam to ascend, I did not recall that.
So the question of the day is, does Moldworm have our final item, or are we going to go straight east into the Paradox Cave area? We also do have Sick Kit from that bottle, which neither of our runners have checked as of yet.
Good point. I feel like Sick Kid is one of the easier checks to orphan because you don't think about it until you're not that likely to find a bottle until after you're done with Kakariko and then just not think about it. Alrighty, Eykir on his way to Moldorm. The hammer does tempered sword damage. That'll be 3 hits to Moldorm's tail, which will also avoid the Berserk phase.
And Eykir making quick work of Moldorm. Very well done. All these dead rocks giving Iris a hard time. There is an item in the basement, and it is locked by a fire source.
Cringe along with me, chat. Eykir having to take the long way around to Death Mountain because he does not have the hook shot. Okay, floating island item. It looks like it's just missiles.
Unfortunately, Iris is getting mini Trolldormed there. One wiggle is all it took. And true to their name, they're doing the same thing to Eykir, too.
Chad is saying Ice Beam and Spiral Cave. Am I too far back, or?
No, that's what she was doing. She died actually in the exit of Spiral Cave.
Oh, Iris checked it. Oh, I was tunnel visioned on Eykir. Okay.
Yeah, Iris got the first check. Eykir's going to get that check, and then unfortunately a Moldorm claimed her life right down here.
Okay.
To answer in chat, yes, we haven't seen Zora yet, but we do need a glove or a flipper before it's in logic.
Eykir taking it real careful to Paradox Cave. Seven items in here, 2 down here, 5 more up top.
Chat pointing out, yes, with that Ice Beam find, Alpha Power Bombs is now in logic.
Grappling Beam, that's all. That's a nice utility item. Eykir gets out the Kinasimari to take out the mini Moldorms. Nice double hit there. More energy is always nice, plus a blue rupee. Another heart piece, that's 3 now. Full heart. And missiles.
So it looks like the only major thing we saw over here was the grappling beam.
I don't believe that gets us anything on its own. So grapple beam and ice beam out of East Death Mountain. I think now we're down to Alpha Power Bombs. Oh right, sick kid.
Eykir's here to prove me either right or getting baited by the bottle, and we see just another hard container.
Magashi-sama, no kidding, some much needed love. This is one of the thinnest health seeds I've seen in quite a while. Baja Blood, yeah. Omega Retro Brin's been checked. Various suit was in the energy tank ceiling.
To answer the question, to access X-ray, you need a morph ball to fire off power bomb.
Other than that, though, yeah, that's all we need for it, though, Omega Wild.
So Iris is going to fake powder here.
Gets it very quickly. Ooh, gets Quake from the Mystic Bat.
Alright, so while the seed is looking more and more like an orb hunt, it's looking less and less like a cookie hunt. Oh, Eykir one step from the door.
Oh, get your ups in chat. Baja Blood. No, he did not.
Now, luckily, the game is questionably forgiving in terms of actually putting you directly where you picked up the old man as a checkpoint.
Is that a vanilla game thing, or is that a randomizer thing?
I believe the vanilla game did that, because you have a checkpoint in Zelda Cell also. Just to kind of hold your hand through early parts.
Yeah. Alright, we are at the 45-minute mark. It seemed for a while like Eykir had the early advantage, but Iris has closed that gap pretty well. They're about even. Iris has that Quake medallion from doing the fake powder. That might come back to help her out. We don't know.
Yeah, that Quake medallion, it might be required for our Turtle Rock entry, and it might not. We won't know until we see a second glove. And for that, we haven't seen a first glove yet, so that's not really in the conversation.
Alrighty, Eykir making the play to Red Tower for Alpha Power Bombs. Iris backtracking to go for take out Moldorm.
Yeah, it's not really the best place for a Frozen Ripper there.
Yeah, that ledge right there. I always thought you could just jump straight up from there with high jump boots. That's why I didn't think we needed Ice Beam.
Nito in chat saying, you can. The logic doesn't expect it, but it is possible.
Which last bit are you talking about, Kachiri?
I think they're referring to the 4 Rippers at the top of the Red Tower.
Why is Ice Beam required for that? Can't you just kill them? Couldn't you just kill them with super missiles and then hop up normally?
It's because the logic's not requiring you to do the wall jump strat to do it. In the vanilla game, they would expect you to use the Ice Beam to hop up on them and climb. There is our Morph Ball and Alpha PBs.
Hot stuff. Yeah, I had a connection flash just now, so did I miss anything but the Morph Ball?
Well, so far that's it. You had Iris take down Moldorm and find out that the last item there is fire locked. And Eykir find their Morph Ball. Right behind that is an E-Tank, and up he goes.
Got it. Alright, so Eykir can check beta power bombs here. And yeah, he's in perfect position to go check wrecked ship. I would agree. That would be the call I would make if I was in his position. The validation arrow.
Now, Eykir actually has a number of different options here. He can do the Bryn loop, he can go down criteria and get the rest of the checks there, or he can go over to wrecked ship. Now, the risky play with wrecked ship is if you don't find a speed booster, there could be an item on that reserve location that you might have to go back for later.
Valid point. Personally, like I said, if I was racing this, my call would be wrecked ship because that's what I'm closest to. Try to hopefully minimize the amount of backtracking I have to do.
And it sure looks like he's agreeing with you here.
Now sitting on 5 energy tanks and various suit, Phantom will be very, very easy with this.
You have chat pointing out that actually wrecked ship is always close when you have a reset directly to your ship.
Fair point.
But since you're already in this area...
Valid point, Neaterific, thank you. Right, bottom of the ocean was just heart piece. Alrighty, Eykir into the wrecked ship will be coming up to Phantoon. Not a whole lot going on right now, so I will tell you guys that Phantoon has 2,500 health, takes double damage from super missiles, so that would be 600. But if a super missile doesn't kill him, there's some literacy, that's awesome. If a super missile hits Phantoon and doesn't kill him, he'll go into an enraged state where he sits at the top of the screen for 25 to 30 seconds and waste your time with waves of his eye flames.
Eykir opting to go into this fight with just 4 regular missiles. That's going to make things a little bit tough early on.
Another note about this fight. Once you've dealt enough damage to Phantoon or hit him with enough projectiles, it'll take him 10 frames to close his eye. But you can fire missiles, you can hit him more frequently than that by moving toward him as you fire, like Doppler effect, by the blue shift Doppler effect, and that can stomach his eye open and let you hit him more. He can move in a fast, medium, or slow pattern before he becomes vulnerable. This looks like it's going to be a slow. It is. And then once his eye is open, he can close it fast, medium, or slow too. That was a slow eye close. Eykir has fired up a lot of regular missiles, so that'll be... Ooh. Hits Phantoon with 3 missiles quickly, and he disappears immediately. If you space them out a little more, you can get up to 5 hits. Which is what Eykir did right there. Goes for the Doppler, gets a couple.
And Iris going to climb up, and let's see if she makes the same call. It looks like she is going to.
Set up the Doppler again. Was anticipating to swing up, didn't get that, so... Phantoon just not cooperating today. Iris jumping up to check the item in the middle of the ocean. I'm not quite seeing it.
Saw the bottom edge of it. Maybe it's an E-tank?
Possibly. Yeah. It looked like the bottom of it was gray, which would indicate an E-tank or maybe a reserve tank. Oof, a slow move and a fast eye close on that last one for Eykir. That's the worst luck you could possibly get. And gonna switch to a super missile for the last shot, and Phantoon is down. Well done.
A lot of not very friendly RNG from Phantoon, but regardless, that is 1 Toast Ghost. In a few moments, Iris will be following the same path here. She's going to be right on Eykir's heels the entire way through.
Iris could definitely make up some time on that fight if she gets better luck than Eykir did, because the Phantoon fight is not something that's RNG seeded like the Aghanim 1 blue balls in the vanilla Link to the Past randomizer.
Our first item checks here at Wrecked Ship, and we are going to see a wave beam.
That unlocks Crocomire. Winterflame also pointing out that the Book of Mudora opened up access to desert. Also means we can check the tablets, but we can't actually get them without 2 swords.
Chat also knows one other very popular location you can read with that book.
Ah, yes, the pedestal. Alrighty, Eykir making the convenience save so that if the item at the Wrecked Ship energy tank turns out to be nothing, he can reset back to it and not spend the time it takes to backtrack.
Yep, you'll see that a lot because sometimes this room coming up is one of the worst in the entire game. It's not called Spiky Room of Death for no reason. These platforms, without a suit, will do 2 full E-tanks of damage. With Varia, it's only 50.
Eykir taking it real slow. Absolutely a good call. Yeah, that Various who makes this room a lot safer. Phantoon cooperating with Iris for the Doppler strats more than he did for Eykir, so she's definitely making up some time here.
Yeah, chat corrected me. The platform is technically an enemy, so yeah, that is 100 damage. Oh, falling on that platform.
Looked like he got locked in the falling animation. And it's super missiles. Eykir's not going to keep that.
Yeah, chances are you're going to see a bunch more ammunition moving forward, or even a charge beam to make things easier. That super pack, a little bit out of the way. Iris done with her ghost fight. She's going to go get her wave beam.
Eykir heading up the main shaft of the wrecked ship will be heading into the attic. The doors here lock until all enemies are defeated. So Eykir will first kill everything, head all the way to the left to open the door, then head back to the right and check the attic item. Now, once you've opened a metal door, it doesn't lock itself again. So that's why Eykir did that.
This being one of the longer checks in Super Metroid right here, this worker robot room is slow to go through.
You can knock them back a bit faster with missiles, but I don't think Eykir wants to waste his ammo at this point. And
just a piece of heart back here.
Yeah, just a piece of heart, absolutely nothing doing there.
Saw a little discussion in chat about whether or not Desert Palace can be boots locked, and also that the big key can be on Bob's Torch and GT. I have seen one race in particular, I think it was a weekly a long while back, where it required a triple dip into Ice Palace to get the boots at the bottom, which the runners did not see until quite literally the end point of the game when they're at GT.
For me, the most memorable Ganon's Tower big key on the torch with no boots happened to Oats and Goats and Andy when they ran it at GDQ Express, I believe 2018.
Oh. It's one thing to have that happen, it's another thing to have it happen live.
Alright, Eykir heading off to the missiles at the top of the ocean. It's our lamp, that's our fire source to get the item from Hera.
It also puts that big key in the 20 location in Eastern in logic, and the Dark Cross item that we don't know about. Looks like it was just a reserve tank there.
Alrighty, reserve tanks are not... Reserve tanks can be useful on the hard logic because they're considered for energy requirements for hell runs, but on normal they're just a convenience item, if that. Razor Flame, you can use the boots to bonk into to do a bonk to get into Mire. The normal way is hookshot.
I would say we're more likely to see a hookshot than we are to see boots at any early point in the run, just because we have a Swamp Palace requirement for crystals.
Meantime, Eykir is at the bowling chozo. Got a nice little 30-second break. Catch his breath, take a drink, wipe his hands if he needs to. There are 3 items in this area. One over here at a destructible chozo that we can get. The Rex to Preserve, which we can't get because we don't have Speed Booster, and then the Gravity Suit item off to the left.
Now, I didn't see Eykir actually check what that item was.
He didn't. Most likely he's going to backdoor check it here. Oh, he's not even going to look. I do not agree with that. Gravity Suit item is $20. Alright, so Eykir is hard orphaning that item.
Yeah, that's an interesting call, because you don't know whether or not you're going to see your speed booster at any early or late point in this run. That is one of the hard gating locations for it.
Cringy Lemon, I think at this point I would say Eykir and Iris are just about even.
Yeah, the way our runners have currently pathed through the seed, there's one constantly on the heels of the other. Iris does have one extra item on Eykir with that Quake Medallion from Fake Powdering the Magic Bat. However, we don't know if that's actually going to be of any help or not.
So here's a question for you, as long as we're a little calm. Do you like Siege where there's lots of divergence, or do you prefer Siege where there's one way to do it, who can do it fastest?
Oh, I can say for myself, honestly, a linear seed is one of the worst things you can have, just because of it points out so painfully the things that it expects you to do, and it's not always very kind about it. At least when you have some divergence, or a different variety of items that you can access in different ways to solve a seed, different paths you can take, leads to a variable difficulty.
Alrighty, Iris did wall jumps to check that item. It's just super missiles. So Eykir made the right call.
The only thing that would worry me is if we end up at any kind of an item hunt later on, and he finds a speed booster and decides to go back and check that one location.
That could be very costly if that does happen.
Now, I will point out that wall jump is not free either way, with or without high jump. It's also not in logic to get up here to the gauntlet without some sort of a can fly.
I believe can fly is considered like space jump, morpho bombs. What else can do that?
Speed booster.
With Shine Sparks?
Yep.
Gotcha.
So the game would not expect you to come up here without one of those 3 items.
So, alright, so anything Eykir finds here will be out of logic.
It also means you can't find any of those 3 items up here without already having one of those 3. So, it could be some information if we see something required.
Rushline in chat saying that speed is not considered a can fly item. So thank you for correcting us there.
Yeah, I think that's actually an important distinction to make. It's not considered one. It's used as one often, but the logic does not think about it as one.
Very clean wall jumps by Iris to get up the gauntlet. Fire Rod!
Well, we're going to need that in a short while here.
Eykir takes the time to grab those super missiles, which is a call I agree with. Because now, at this point, with 25 supers and 50 missiles, Eykir actually has enough ammo to take on Ridley. There's our next battle, the Terminator.
Now, Eykir going left, so he's going to make the play down to the Bryn Loop, where we have a number of different items that you can check in this high-density area. That does, of course, mean... Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was going to say there are a couple early that aren't in logic because we don't have that speed booster, but they're easy to check with the mock ball strat, which allows you to keep your running speed in ball form.
And that'll probably be the first thing we see him look at here.
Meantime, Chatron says that speed booster is considered logical access to the gauntlet and the criteria power bonds. It's just not a can fly. Thank you for clarifying that. Well, there's our first shield. That's something.
So it's interesting, both of our runners opting not to check any of the bomb lock locations and criteria. So you have Old Mother Brain, and you have the final missile. Those you can always loop back around to get once you get down in the Green Hill Zone.
Like you're having a little trouble setting the mock ball up, but there we go.
I thought he had it. He might have just aborted out of it, or you might have had it a little early.
Meantime, we have got hashtag the sink. Iris gets the mock ball first shot. There's a heart piece. There's 3 bombs. $300. That's ours. We absolutely have Zorro money now. And then the early supers item in the hidden room up top.
Yeah, Eykir's still struggling to get this mock ball all the way through. Iris gets it first try, and she's not really rewarded for it, but she does get these checks out of the way.
Looks like Iris is not even going to bother with the shield.
That's a personal preference. Either you are Team Shield or you're not.
That's fair. Oh. Is there anything that shield that mirror shield blocks other than laser bridge?
I mean, with some really precise movements, you can actually get through laser bridge without so much as a mirror shield, let alone a shield at all.
I am aware of that. What I was saying, yeah, I am aware of that. I am aware. That's not logically expected, though, is it?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Okay, so
the vanilla game wants it, but I don't know if it's in the logic for this.
Right. The question I was asking was, is there anything else that having the mirror shield can logically lock?
I don't believe so. Chat pointing out it's also useful for Wizrobe shots, of course, that being an age-old strategy from the first Zelda game.
I had a connection stutter again. What was that Edekum power bombs? Did anyone see?
Think it was just a missile pack. Eykir is going to remind us here in a moment. Got a red rupee at the pre-mission impossible. Yeah, shoutouts to our tracker letting us know that it was either a missile pack or a piece of heart. Razor Flame is doing a very good job keeping it. Yep, it was a missile. Another keeping us honest over here. Yeah, thank you, Razor Flame. Another pack of missiles at Mission Impossible itself. Gonna drop down for 2 more items, including the Charge Beam pedestal, Charge Beam Chozo. Saw another
heart piece. No, super missile tank before that. Iris sets up a super missile shot to hit that super missile block off screen. That way you can go through here and not have to fight Spore Spawn. Or another heart piece.
Eykir's going to go ahead and check our Mission Impossible item here. We already know it's just a missile pack.
Agent Gamer, that's a great idea. Start a petition on the internet. Those always work. Iris heading through the wave gate room for another item. It's blueberries. She's not going to bother.
Yeah, fun conversation in chat talking about different ways we can get rid of some of the most trolly enemies in Link to the Past. I am going to agree with one sentiment. I do think that the Mirror Shield should have something to say about those BMO shots.
What is a BMO exactly? I'm not familiar with Link to the Past enemy names.
The BMOs is that rotating little eye laser that you find in Desert Palace and Ganon's Tower, a couple other locations.
Oh, okay.
It shoots a beam at you if it sees you.
Alrighty. Iris sees just blueberries at Green Hill Zone. She's heading up to Retro Bryn now. Or not?
I think she thought about it, but if you look at her power bomb count, she only has 5.
Fair point. Yeah, it would be easier for her to soft lock there. Yeah, I would be very surprised if we don't see Eykir do that, because he's got plenty of power bombs.
Yeah, I can see Eykir looping all the way back up to the top of criteria here.
Although Iris can check the X-ray scope area, which looks like she's doing. Now, I believe the fire fleas in here are guaranteed to drop power bombs if you're not full on them, so she could farm here for a bit if she wanted to.
They will always drop a power bomb if you need one. If not, they'll drop you big energy if you happen to need that.
Hashtag merciful devs.
Eykir seeing his blueberry saying, "I'm not hungry," and just jumps right out.
X-ray item is more blueberries.
Blueberries for everyone. They appear to be in season. Alright, Eykir is making that play to go into Retro Bryn here. I do like the call.
Retro Bryn power bombs is just $20. We also have alpha missiles, beta missiles, and Billy Mays to check. Meantime, Iris gets us our first look at the Spacer item. It's our first sword! Nice!
1 hour and change in, we're finally seeing a sword on this run, and instead of finding a weapon, Eykir's going to find a safety in a blue mail.
Beta missiles is just a heart piece. And heading up for Billy Mays as Iris is heading for Kraid.
There's that route divergence we were talking about.
Eykir turning off high jump boots to make this jump a little less tricky. There's our moon pearl
Oh
and Kraid flare.
And Iris doesn't have any power bombs to go get it.
Hopefully Kraid will drop some and she can pick it up on the way out.
Yeah, we saw there, she wants that moon pearl, launching super missiles, hoping to break that wall down, and it is so steadfast.
All right, then we have super missiles. But wait, there's more. 5 rupees in Billy Mays.
That feels more like a mail-in rebate than a Billy Mays sale right there.
I know, right? Okay, worth noting that Eykir is now... Alright, Iris gets the crate quick kill, so he doesn't stand up. And it's worth noting that our Eykir now has 40 missiles and 70 regular missiles. That is technically enough to defeat Mother Brain. If you do some... There's our first glove! Oh my gosh, the progression.
And Kraid dropping power bombs, Iris is going to be able to grab that Moon Pearl, and she has Dark World access.
I think we can pretty safely say Rip Aggle won at this point. Okay. Pardon. So what does Eykir do next? He's got to... Eykir's best option is to make that Kraid play, but when does he do it? Hey, Blue Boomerang at Old Mother Brain Room.
The way that he's currently going about is he is trying to just make sure he gets all these checks up here in Criteria. And then I wouldn't be surprised to see him dip into Link to the Past and then go out the mountain exit to get to Norfair.
Alright, Eykir heading for Shaft Supers. He cannot get this item without Speed Booster, but he can check it. He's got a wall jump up, and we'll see what this is. Post-grade energy tank for Iris. She didn't get it.
It was just a missile, I think.
Oh, she's firing power bombs. Ooh, Eykir drops the wall jumps. Ranger Flame saying that crate item was just a missile, so Shaft Supers is 10 arrows. We will not be seeing that.
Just by having been in the area to look at it, Eykir now knows he does not have to come back for this later and can just leave it alone. And he doesn't know it yet, but that means that's 2 Speed Booster lock locations that he does not need to double back to.
Ranger Flame, it is certainly possible that we might not need that Speed Booster. Iris going to Mockball here. That gets her to the Speed Booster room. No, that gets her to the Ice Beam room.
Yep, it is logically locked by the Speed Booster we're talking about. Of course, the Mockball doesn't stop her runners here, so...
Iris can also check Crumble Tower. Oh my, there's our gravity suit at Omega Missiles.
Eykir's persistence
just busted wide open.
Yeah, Eykir's persistence paying off big time here by getting all these checks up in all the checks up at the top of Criteria. He now knows that he doesn't have to go on a big old hunt for gravity later on.
Iris checking Crumble Tower. It's just a heart piece. Eykir now checking the bomb Terizo. It's super missiles. And he doesn't have to fight him because the trigger for the fight is having the more ball bombs collected.
That is one concern that you might have fighting gravity this early, is it's going to take you away from Kraid.
Alrighty, Iris has 2 more items behind the Business Center E-Tank. There was power bombs, and the high jump item is more power bombs. Good grief. Alrighty, Eykir blowing the flute, and where's he heading? He's heading for Death Mountain. Can he do anything here, or is this an indication that he might be doing what you said and just going to Kraid's Lair this way?
It certainly looks like it. If it's not Kraid's Lair, he's going to dip into Meridian now that he has that gravity suit. But he doesn't know... Oh, where's he going? He has a lamp. He's going to go get that item in Hera.
Yeah, same. And he can also, like I said, he can also check the tablet if he wants to. Failure to communicate. The gravity suit is fairly easily accessible from any point because the parlor and Omega missiles are super easy to get to.
The question is when she routes it back in.
Alrighty, Eykir is going to check the ether tablet here. See what we got. Flying bomb, that would be super missiles.
It's
regular
missile, yeah.
That, can't talk. Alrighty, Iris on her way into the wreck ship reserve room. There are 2 items here. Missile tank for the reserve itself, and the flippers in the hidden item.
And we know we're going to have to see those flippers eventually. There they are. That puts our Zora check in logic.
Alrighty,
Puts our flippers checks easier to actually route it.
Right, Eykir dipping back into Super Metroid. Yeah, most likely he's heading for Kraid. Hopefully he thinks to head over to Spacer Room and get that first sword. Chadron, almost all of Super Metroid is in logic at this point. Like, I've said it before, glitchless low percent is only 15 items, and about 9 or 10 of those are just ammo and health. Alrighty, I will be right back. I gotta run upstairs real quick.
Well, I'll walk you through this. Iris, she is taking her shot at Crocomire, who did nothing wrong. To answer chat, Lava Dive needs a can fly and gravity suit. You can do it without it, but unless you're really good at it, you don't want to. We're going to see if Eykir decides to take Kraid out to the prom in just a moment here as well. And there goes Crocomire. Poor guy. Just seeing a red rupee behind Croc. Only a couple other checks you can make back here. Iris going to opt to pick that up and just stand off screen to reduce the lag. Yeah, with the flippers, you can actually backdoor to Tragon by using the connector point in the Dark Shopping Mall by the Ice Rod area. Eykir, I don't believe he collected his Moon Pearl yet. He will probably check it on his way back up. Yeah, unfortunately, Eykir missing the quick kill, but a very quick recovery, getting rid of Kraid very easily there. Gets his glove as a reward. Nicely done by Iris to actually freeze the enemies there to get up to this power bomb location. And of course, another 20 rupee.
Alrighty, I am back. What did I miss behind Crocomire?
20 bucks.
That's all? Oof.
20 bucks and 20 bucks.
No. All three, the remaining 3 items here are all in logic, so we will certainly be seen. Indiana Jones will be tricky as hell, though.
Iris going for the screen gate glitch. 5th shot, not too bad.
Very quick.
Yeah, grapple is not in logic because it doesn't expect you to do a green gate glitch through there.
Well, that's right. Plus we don't have can fly, so we can't infinite bomb jump up or anything like that. So hard to keep track of this stuff sometimes. But grapple is just regular missiles.
Unfortunately, she doesn't quite latch onto a Ripper there, so she is going to be leaving this.
Alright, so sine wave room is in logic, but that's it.
Yeah, cosine room is.
Is it sine or cosine? I've heard both.
I don't know. I'm not exactly a math buff. I've heard both too.
Mathematicians in chat, anybody know? Well, for the tunic upgrade.
Yeah, there's our other mail upgrades. We know we have red mail early in the seed.
Alrighty, Eykir looks like he's going to give us our first dedicated Dark World checks.
And AG letting us know this is another room that they refer to as Rising Tides.
Alrighty, Eykir heading for Hype Cave. Haven't seen a lot out of this for quite a while, so we'll see if this is anything.
Yeah, get your ratings in chat, folks. 0 to 10, how hype is this cave?
Silver arrows! That makes it pretty hype all on its own.
Nah, I think it's at least a 5 out of 10. Silvers are going to be very nice to have later on. Of course, we are playing without progressive bows, so finding the arrows means, you know, unless you make them darts, you're not going to be able to use it for much.
Alright, Eykir taking the time to study the map, see where he goes first.
Seeing no love for the silver arrows in chat, I can't honestly disagree. We don't know where that bow is, so the silvers, while nice to have later, aren't going to do much for us now. We don't want to see them.
Alrighty, Stumpy gives us $50 more. Iris looks like she could be lava diving.
She is absolutely going for a lava dive.
Pity she doesn't know that you don't have to do this.
I don't think it's whether or not she knows. I think she just doesn't care. She's going to break the logic any way she sees a point to.
Alright, so +5 bomb capacity at Cave 45. Very quick, very clean entry to Lower North here by Iris. And she's going to save here. I absolutely agree with that call.
Yeah, the save here means she can actually go look at the items at Showcase Showdown. If she likes what she sees in Screw Attack, she can reset back and grab it later.
Razor Flame K45 with +5 bomb capacity.
And the
Eykir heading for the digging game. Ancient Gamer also pointing out that Iris has the mirrors, so if she can take the cross-game portal to the mire area and do things there. $29 digs for a pack of super missiles.
It's the most stubborn hidden treasure I've ever seen.
Was that 30 Razor Flame? I lost count. Yeah, Iris has enough ammo to comfortably take Ridley out if she wants to.
Looks like she's farming up some supers to possibly have a gander at what Golden Terizo has for us today.
For that, we'll see the Screw Attack item, which is $50. Yeah, she's got plenty of ammo to fight Gold Terizo as well. Plus,
here comes
Showcase Showdown is just missiles, so that will not require a space jump, and there's an energy tank there too. If I was her, I'd save that for the middle of the fight in case she takes too much damage.
Eykir's going to make their visit into the Village of Outcasts here. Be interesting to see if he routes in that Pendant Skull Woods or not, now that we have the Fire Rod. That does look like exactly what he is doing.
And if I recall correct, the spot, the face that face channel you destroy with the Fire Rod, if you mirror in that spot, that'll get you right to pedestal to check it, right?
Yep, if you go straight to the back of Skull Woods, you can mirror right in front of the spot that you open up for the final boss area with Mothula, and it puts you right outside where the pedestal would be. Iris making pretty good work of the gold Teresa there.
Yes, well done. All right, there's our first prize for Skull Woods, a big heart. And Iris going to take the cross-game transition to the Mire area. Missiles and energy tank Razor Flame. Oh, Mire is Bombos, but I believe Mire is also a pendant, so...
That is a pendant mire that we may or may not necessarily need to go into for any sort of progression, and we don't have the medallion for it yet, so we're not worried about that.
Right, Iris has Checkerboard Cave, and then the left Mire shed to check. Checkerboard Cave is just power bombs. She's going to grab those. I agree with that call, since we still don't have those more ball bombs.
Yeah, as long as you don't have more ball bombs, you can never have too many power bomb packs, just because you're using them for literally access to anything.
Alrighty, looks like Iris is heading over to the left shed.
Now, if she wanted, while she's here, she can actually have a gander at a desert palace without having to wait for the book cutscene as well.
There's the magic powder. Alright, so that puts Quake in logic. Hammer and powder is what puts Magic Bat in logic, correct?
That is correct.
Alrighty, yeah, Iris is going to check on desert.
So if the big key is on the torch, we will know that we need boots to complete Desert Palace.
And it is.
We have a boots locked desert, so we will find our Pegasus boots at some point in the seed.
Right, they're mandatory now because desert's a crystal, correct?
Yep. There's no other way you can get that key off of there. You need to be able to bonk it.
Alrighty. Eykir into the far back of Skull Woods has found the big key and the compass according to his pause screen. That leaves the map, however many keys, and I think one prize. There it is.
There is the last item. He knows he doesn't need to do anything else here. And with the mirror out,
yeah, we're gonna get a pet check, folks. See let's get your pet hype in chat. A heart from the future, that's just an energy tank. Pet is dead.
Pet is dead. Unfortunate for the chat. Great for our runners. They know they don't need to go dip every dungeon to finish this seed. Rather, Eykir knows that. Iris hasn't checked yet.
It is also entirely possible Iris is not going to know that because she might not check Skull Woods because she doesn't need to.
Right, there wasn't anything in there of any importance.
Alright, have we seen the other prize in Desert? I see we just got super missiles.
I haven't seen it either. It could either be in the big chest or on Land Mall.
Eykir heading back up into Skull Woods. I'm not sure what he's thinking. Or is he just going around?
Yeah, he's just looping around here.
Alrighty, Iris heading back into Super Metroid as Eykir is passing by Bumper Ledge for the space jump.
It's very possible that...
Yeah, they might come back for that, but not sure.
It's very possible that space jump ends up being our first logical can fly, so we could see a cape very early here in just a moment.
Alright, so based on where Eykir is, I'm going to say he's going for King's Tomb.
He's going for Graveyard Ledge. Can't do King's Tomb without a boots.
Oh, I thought you could just push it. I didn't realize you had to bonk it.
Yeah, you need to be able to either bonk it, or at least it's looking for you being in a dash state, so you don't have to actually bonk into it. You can hold your sword out and just kind of put the dust on the ground with your feet.
Interesting. Didn't know you could do that.
Similar to how the game looks for the dash state when you're hovering. A plasma on Graveyard Ledge.
Very nice. Still need Charge Beam to make good use of it, but it's something.
to answer chat, that is a meme clock that Iris is using. And yeah, she has thrown me off with it a few times as well. Omega 33 is kind of a thing.
Looks like Iris trying to do the Alcatraz escape strat to save power bomb. She gets it fairly quickly.
And in her due diligence, she is about to be very well rewarded by checking this item location. We know it's her gravity suit.
Yeah, I always call this Omega Missiles since it's the last item that 100% item collection gets.
Yep. Omega Missile, 230 missiles, the final missile, or if you like to mispronounce 230, I've heard it called dental plan missiles.
Oh, got it. That joke. Eykir is in the village of Outcast doing those checks. Well, we got the brewery, we got more money.
We have
So
more than
we are
enough money.
absolutely rich.
Yeah, we have more than enough money to pay off King Zora, Kiki the Monkey, and any potions you might need to buy early on in the game here.
All right, chest skin. First item is always random, and then second item is always the prize, right?
Yep. In Randomizer, it is coded that your second check is always the prize.
Alrighty, Eykir heading into Thieves Town. I believe there are 4 prizes here.
I think so.
All right, so there's the big key. Has to be in that front that front 4. Heart piece prize number 1.
To answer chat,
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, to answer chat, you do have to beat both final bosses. And the order you do so is, not really necessarily required. You can go ahead and finish all 4 of the golden bosses in Super Metroid and take down Mother Brain first without a timer. After which you can go back into the game and find any item locations you may have left behind, or you can take out Ganon and have the 3-minute timer on the escape after you fight Mother Brain. Otherwise, both games play exactly like their vanilla counterparts. You have 4 bosses in Super Metroid in the final. You have 7 crystals to defeat Ganon, plus his tower climb. All that fun stuff is still in play here.
Failure to communicate. The males are progressive.
Yeah, males are progressive, swords are progressive, bows are not.
The progressive bow change, was that in version 30 or 31 of the Link to the Past randomizer?
I want to say it was probably... Yeah, shields also, they're saying. I want to say it was 30. Could be 31.
Okay.
I know it was a more recent change that...
Chadron, yeah. Mails, swords, gloves, and shields are the progressive items. And then in this one, bow still is too. Oh no, bow is not progressive in this.
bow is not yet. Yeah, you're good. No, because the development team is different than what we're used to seeing with Link to the Past randomizer, Total and company have decided not to implement progressive bows to this point.
Mithra sends you 7. I agree. Best game ever. Razor Flame Coon, they are indeed. I was just curious about when that change was introduced. Oh. originally 3/4. That's 3 out of 4 or 3 and 4 that you're saying that we found. Are you saying we found all the prizes in in Thieves Town? 3 out of 4. So we're missing 1 prize. Thank you.
We still have a small key floating out here somewhere, so we might see that. It could also lock itself because it's not required. That depends on the key layout of the rest of the dungeon. I think.
There's blueberries. So we have 2 spots. I believe we have 2 spots left based on Eykir's routing. Blind himself and that chest.
Well, with having 4 out of 4 items, we know we're not going to be looking at that big chest today.
Okay, so... Alright, so... Blind either has the small key that we don't need, or he has the compass that we also don't need.
Yeah, at this point, it's just a fight against Blind, and without a sword, Eykir's going to have to do hammer strats here. This cannot be fun. Oh, he's opting for the cane. That's a lot better.
Blind with the joke about pizza. Oof.
Is it too early in the day to be thinking about pizza?
It is never too early to think about pizza. One of the heads blocking a shot from the Samaria block. So 3 hits left. 1. Very nice. Oh, it was the map, not the compass.
It was a dungeon item, that's all that's important.
And Chowdron saying that Blind can't have the small key. I did not know that. Baja Blood saying it too.
So we are an hour and 40 minutes in, and that is our first crystal.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Looks like Iris saw something on the pyramid. That's because she's going around to get it. I didn't catch what it was.
Actually,
is that
you
our
have
other
to...
glove? Or is that
No, it was a bomb capacity upgrade.
Yeah, I saw gold, so...
Yeah, you have to actually be up there to even look at the item, so she was still going up to look at it.
Chowdron explaining the key logic that makes Blind unable to have the small key. Thank you for that. Alrighty, based on where Iris is, I'm going to say she's going for catfish, and will then mirror out to check, what's it called? Zora.
Yep, you got Waterfall and Zora in this area. That's 5 total checks you can do just by walking up here right now. See what our kinder fish has for us today.
$20. Nothing doing. Dark Cross was a +5 arrow capacity. X-ray scope and missiles in the well. Waterfall of Wishing. Flippers were at wrecked ship Norfair Reserve, Racer Flame.
No, Eykir hasn't been back yet.
Eykir has not been back there with the Morph Ball. Another bottle on Zora Ledge.
And we get to see if today's visit to King Zora results in a life lesson, a love lesson, or a bargain sale. Let's find out.
Life lesson.
Yeah, but not a too harsh one.
Eykir's up into Central North Dark World. I think he's following in what Iris was doing.
The only thing that he can't do, he can go visit Zora, but he can't get the items in the Waterfall of Wishing without the flippers that he hasn't gotten yet.
Fortunately, none of that is progression, so...
Ever just slash a bush and get exploded by a bomb?
Alrighty, looks like Iris is gonna head out and check Skull Woods. And it looks like Eykir's going to stock up on potions. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't buy voltage. There we go. There's one bottle of voltage, 2 bottles of voltage, and that's all he's going to get.
It's all the bottles he has.
Oh, that's right. We just saw the 3rd bottle is at Zora Ledge. He didn't get. He hasn't been there, and he couldn't get it anyway.
Yeah, chat. Plasma was at Graveyard Ledge. Iris getting her Skullwoods checks. And probably read the pedestal on her way out as well.
Skullwoods is clearable at this point, failure to communicate.
Yeah, with that early Fire Rod, Skullwoods has been in logic for quite a bit of time since we have Dark World access. Of course, we don't need to. It's a pendant. She will find out in just a moment here. So chances are she's going to find her last item and then just leave, just like Eykir did.
Ranger Flame is correct. You also need a sword to open the curtain that leads to Mothula. Blake Lovin, you are correct. Fire Rod is still out of logic. We don't have Can Fly, we don't have Speed Booster, so the Gauntlet is not in logic. Ready, Eykir heading back to Super Metroid.
He's going to finish his Norfair checks. Good.
All right, yeah, he'll get his he'll get his flippers out of this most likely. Reversed, yes, we have land. It was that top of the ocean. Irish went for Mothula.
Yeah, it's an interesting call. You can take care of Mothula even though you don't necessarily need to. She doesn't have the item, but Iris does not know that.
Going for Fire Rod strat, since the Fire Rod deals gold sword damage to Mothula, unless you knock Mothula into a spike, which negates the damage, because Mothula is a very well-programmed boss. But seriously, though, this fight, moving spikes, Mothula, conveyor belt floor, just why?
Yeah, it's interesting because she went for the green pendant there, and Eykir is leaving Norfair. He is leaving his flippers to Norfair Reserve.
Oh, he's probably going to go chase that Variasuit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes his little splash into Meridia here. Got the power bomb selected, and boom glows the glass tube.
And chat also pointing out that Iris might have wanted that green pendant out of Skullwoods. Yeah, I probably meant Meridia. Blah, I can't talk. Now let me tell you guys, one of my favorite things to watch on TV is pro wrestling. Doing this has given me a whole new respect for what the commentators have to deal with when they're calling the match.
You get your tongues tied, you get your locations tied, you get your items tied. get bit by a yapping maw.
Huh, Eykir
Eykir's
is skipping space.
Yeah. We know he probably... Oh, he's going back for it?
Maybe he's going back for it. Yep. He just thought about it. Gonna wait for the block to respawn here. And that is Eykir's first sword at an hour 48:30. Wow.
I think that's the latest I've ever seen anyone pick up a sword.
Okay, what's he got going on now?
I would think he's going to check the X-ray location here.
Oh, he has not checked that.
Meanwhile, Iris seeing her space jump up on the bumper ledge. She's going to get her plasma beam out of Graveyard Ledge in just a moment.
Eykir heading through one of Super Metroid's many spiky rooms of death.
Yeah, this was just a missile, right?
I know there was no value here. I don't remember exactly what it was.
That's bombs. Well, they both explode, so I was close.
I suppose.
Yeah, boots clipping is a no in in this tournament. It's no major glitches, normal difficulty logic. And Omega Wild pointing out, if we do find our cape, that space jump does put Gauntlet in logic, which would put the Fire Rod in logic, or regular bombs as well.
Baja Blood asking if logic can assume you know how to walk around the pit and bumper cave. I don't know that answer.
There is a sign that tells you in front you need cape but not hookshot. So it indicates to you that you can. Whether or not people actually know that is a different story.
Alrighty, Eykir into Meridia. What do we have at the Main Street item? Just missiles, that's vanilla. Grab Supers looks like a bomb capacity upgrade. That's nothing doing, so Eykir's gonna head down and probably head toward Mama Turtle. Here's a question. Do we have the items and equipment to get to Dark Ice Rod?
With the flippers and the hammer, yes. Eykir does not have flippers, though.
Okay, so as far as he knows, then Dragon is out of logic.
That's correct. We know that Dragon is in logic. He does not.
Mama Turtle's wall item is $20. And Eykir heading over here, 10 arrows.
Yeah, we had a...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we had a sick kid check early. That was... just 20? A hard container, yeah, that's right.
Eykir grapple swinging around Mount Everest. Ooh.
See, in vanilla intended strat to get through this room, it's easy enough to go through here with just a well-placed gravity jump, but looks like he wants to do it the old-fashioned way.
Doing fine either way. Very nice.
Yeah, getting that get-around wall jump. Seeing that more and more recently, and that's a nice-looking strat.
Heading up toward the beach, which is right up here, and then watering hole over to the left. Beach is vanilla missiles.
Got 2 item checks down here. Yep, Iris went into desert. She discovered that it is locked by boots. The big key is on the torch.
And there's our bombos in watering hole.
Alright, so we know where all 3 of our medallions are. We're not worried about that as a requirement for Turtle Rock. And we've seen where powder was, right?
Yes. Eykir found powder, but I can't remember where.
Right, so that puts the Quake medallion in logic. So Eykir technically has everything that he needs to know to access both of our medallion-required dungeons. And,
right.
Yep.
That's right. Quake with Meyer Shed. Iris visited that, not Eykir.
I thought Quake was on Magic Bat and Powder was in Meyer Shed on Iris' side.
Oh, you're right. I got it backward. Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to keep track of in something like this. You don't really realize how much until you do it yourself for the first time.
And that's why Razorflame is keeping us honest here. Thank you, Tracker.
Thank you much, Razorflame.
And thank you, chat, because you're helping out too.
Eykir makes a save so that if one of the sand pits doesn't pay out, he can reset and check the other one without having to loop around. Iris is into the blind side.
Robot is also in logic here, so we might see him reset out of the left, go check the right, and then check the spring ball item.
Alrighty, so that's a heart piece and a progressive shield in the left pit. At Den VG, you can get to, yes, through the cross-game transition that leads from Dark Ice Rod to the Meridian Missile Refill, you can get to Dragon without Speed Booster.
That would be your logical access to do it. You can also do an Ice Clip in the Metroid room to get to Batoon and access Dragon that way, but the logic does not require that.
Yeah, the Ice Clips, though, are not hard. I've done them myself.
Yeah, the Puyo one's a little bit more temperamental than the Metroid one, but the Metroid one is almost free.
Alrighty, no progression in either sand pit, although Eykir is going to take that energy tank, or maybe not, and it looks like he is going to go for the Shack Tool check. Very clean entry to the Shack Tool path.
Let's get our Shack Tool hype in chat, folks. Everyone's favorite destroyed robot.
Ancient Gamer, Eykir doesn't have those flippers, so he can't get to Dark Ice Rod to backdoor Dragon. That can be done with Hammer. I thought I heard that it required. Oh.
Yeah, he can Ice Clip if he knows how. It's whether or not he wants to actually go on that path. Unless this is something literally progression breaking, we'll probably see Eykir reset out of this room. Letting Shack Tool live for now. Screw Attack. That is probably something worth keeping.
It's not progression, but it's a very useful tool.
Yeah, that screw attack's gonna make. Sorry. That screw attack's gonna make Lower Norfair very free for our runners.
And failure to communicate, yes. Paths of Darkness is where you have to shoot the Eykir statue.
And folks, Shack Tool lives today. That's a good feeling.
Hashtag feels good, man. Alrighty, we've been focused on Eykir for a while, so what is Iris doing?
Omega, no plasma check if you haven't fought Dragon yet. And Iris has finished Thieves Town. Looks like she's going to check Hobo real quick. We haven't seen this location yet. Just another little bit of love. So that is all of the flipper checks that we can get.
Alrighty, we are just about 2 hours into this, and we only have 2 Super Metroid bosses and 1 Crystal boss down. Wow.
Yeah, this is a very slow-moving seed. The progression is nowhere to be found in a lot of cases. A lot of real estate to cover still. Chat pointing out we do have that first logical chest in Swamp Palace that we can look at. Of course, with the flippers, Iris can actually do most of Swamp Palace, but she cannot take a visit to Argus without the hookshot.
Yeah, Chadron, I think is right. It looks like Iris is heading up here to Backdoor Meridia. This is the here we have the Alms. This is the only place in the game where they are found.
Keenly waiting for them to roll off the cliff so that she can have a nice, quick little roll here.
And Eykir is back to Bubble Mountain. He'll most likely find his flippers now.
Yep, Chad reminding us we do have all of Swamp Palace we can actually check here. Anything but the back.
How many chests are in the back? Are there any?
There are 3 chests behind the big chest towards Argus, 2 in the Diver Down room, 1 in the Waterfalls room, and then 1 item on Argus himself.
Got it. Iris not checking precious missiles, it looks like.
She'll probably get it on her way back out. Eykir is going to be rewarded with his flippers for checking the Norfair reserve items.
Alrighty, Iris getting ready for Dragon. Alrighty, Eykir looks like he's going to do the croc checks. And Iris grappling the turret to electrocute Dragon, and we got us a fried shrimp.
Yep, 1 crispy shrimp. I'll take mine to go, though. Yeah, without Charge B, we're not seeing any microwave strats in this run, and that's fine. Very nice ceiling bonk gravity jump by Iris there.
Anyone who might not know, the gravity jump functions by starting to jump underwater with the gravity suit on, so you have the fast acceleration of air momentum. and then you turn the gravity suit off so you switch back to water physics and get the slow momentum decay. Razor Flame is right. Iris is orphaning precious missiles. I hope that doesn't come back to bite her. Oh, Soul's World, she did look at it? I didn't see. Wound is hiding in an energy tank. That's a vanilla item.
She's going to fall into Aqueduct here and probably have a good look at the sand pits. But first, do you think she snail clips into these Aqueduct items?
It's certainly possible. I don't think the sail clip is too hard.
It's not. It's definitely easier with the X-ray scope. Looks like she is going to set it up. And
well
getting
done.
it.
For a heart container and $100.
Just to remind chat, Croc did nothing wrong. It is certainly starting to look that way, right? Words are hard. It is starting to look like speed is not going to be required.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if Eykir makes it to Indiana Jones. Oh, he's not even going to try.
Yeah, he knows the other two checks aren't in logic.
Okay, this is the save room outside of Croc. Okay, I wasn't sure where I didn't see him save. Iris getting her shack tool check. She'll get her screw attack out of this.
Interesting to see where Eykir decides to go next.
Not a whole bunch left at this point, I don't think.
It's the flippers checks.
Eykir heading for the hobo, I believe. I don't know what Iris is doing.
Looks like she was trying to screw attack the robot there, and he's resistant to it.
Tyrannosaur, yes, we saw Crumble Tower. There was nothing of value there. Looks like Iris heading up to check the plasma beam room. And Omega Wild, no, we haven't seen Green Pendant turned in.
We are going to see that plasma check, though. And I think Eykir is going to make the call to go into the front of Swamp.
He's right by the dam, isn't he?
Yep, all he needs to do here is go into the Dark World, mirror back, flood it, and there he goes.
And just a hard piece at Plasma Beam.
Actually, he's going to make the Dragon play here.
Yeah, Iris's timer is absolutely hilarious. I've never seen that timer do that before.
Now, if you watch it for long enough, you'll lose track of how long you've been watching it because it won't tell you anymore.
Alrighty. Iris heading back to Kakatak Alley, probably to check the other sand pit.
Now, I thought for sure that we were going to see the Dragon play, but it actually looks like Eykir is opting to check the front of Palace of Darkness.
Probably hoping he lucks out and finds the bow in there.
I've seen it happen more recently, even, so it's possible.
Ready, Pod has 5 prizes, I believe.
It's also important to note, if this item down here is not a key, then we know it is logically locked by needing a bow. But not today.
Alrighty, let's see where this leads us. Keys are cooperating so far.
Now, just as a reminder, thanks to the logic of the dungeon, that you have to see at least 4 keys in the front 6, or else it's not completable.
The Iris heading out the back of the aqueduct to... She'll get her checks of beach and watering hole. That is Vanilla Big Key, correct?
Yes, it is. So we're going to be able to do everything except right side here, without doing any sort of clip shenanigans to the mimics.
What is in right side? How much is there?
2 chests. Alright, that's Iris's 3rd medallion, so she knows that she doesn't need to hunt for any cookies later on.
Alrighty. Eykir up here, heading into the basement area. There's yet another key. heart piece, which is enough to bring up a new heart.
Oh, that's not what we want to see.
Well, at least we saw it here instead of in Super Metroid, so we don't have to turn it off.
It's the meme beam.
Alright, Eykir setting up for a bomb jump. Very nice, gets the compass out of the big chest. Asder, how is Dark Maze Bow locked? We have enough. Oh, we don't have enough keys. Okay.
Yeah, we just used our last key to get that spazer. That means it requires you to find probably 2 keys, either a key here or a key on the right side. And they're both on the right.
And then there's the map, so nothing doing.
Which means there is an item on the Helmasaur. We won't be seeing that until we find our bow. This is starting to become a theme a little bit here.
There's always going to be a lot of progression once we find it.
See AG in chat going, go to Swamp. I very much agree. Swamp has a number of checks in the front. Now Eykir making the play to go visit our friend Dragon. Yep, we have it. We have knowledge of at least 3 bottles. We know Eykir has 2 of them. So Spike Cave is definitely doable. We don't have a safety, though.
Eykir gets the alms out of the way. Graveyard Ledge was Plasma Beam.
Yep, both of our runners have collected that, so they are 1 beam away from being full Quispy. It looks like Iris is going right back to Lower Norfair. Interesting.
Oh, she comfortably has enough ammo to do Ridley now.
Yeah, now that she has Screw Attack, Lower Norfair is nothing short of free here.
Meantime, Eykir looks like he's farming up, or trying to farm ammo.
Yeah, this Lower Norfair play is still out of logic, but that's, of course, not going to stop her from having the gravity jump. We've already seen Showcase Showdown, and there was no progression to be had there either, so...
We do know where Space Jump is. Showcase Showdown is Gold Tourism Missiles answer, the one I call the picky, behind what I call the Picky Choso.
Yeah, Iris checked it earlier, then she went and checked the Meyer area, and I believe that is where we found powder.
Oh, there's our hook shot at the Mickey Mouse room. That's our logical access to finish Swamp. What else? It also gets us into Meyer. What else does it do?
would be our second way of accessing East Death Mountain. We didn't already have one. It makes it easier to go from east to west Dark World. And yes, as soon as we find our Titan's Mitts, that will give us Hookshot Cave. So it means we know that that hookshot is locked behind some sort of a canfly. I think.
Accused, the green pendant has not been turned in yet. Permagoo, that's the thing that can happen? Power Bomb of Shame is an energy tank for Iris.
All things considered, that's an item you'd rather see there. Interesting choice to K-go into the acid for a sec.
Nice gravity dump from Eykir, as Iris is just about to get to Ridley. Ridley has 18,000 health. He takes double damage from super missiles, as I mentioned earlier. So super missiles do 600 to him. Therefore, she needs 30 out of 48 to beat him. If she somehow runs out, she can substitute the regular missiles and the power bombs too.
Yep, Ridley is one of the few bosses that can actually take damage from power bombs. He will attempt to evade them if you actually lay one.
I believe the power bomb explosions do 200 damage each, and if you position them right, they can hit him twice.
Iris making quick work of Ridley, already over half done. And down he goes. That was a very clean fight by Iris. And the ice rod behind our angry space pelican today. That is a fantastic find.
Yeah, because we know we need that because Total Rock is a crystal, and that means we also don't have to hunt for it.
Right, but the only thing is now we are looking for a bow, we are looking for a pair of Titan's mitts, and we are looking for boots. So at 2 hours and 20 minutes in, we know we need 3 items, and we are in go mode. Technically,
awesome.
We need 4, because we need a canfly to get down here.
Yeah, that could be morpho bombs, or as I've seen in chat, that could also be space jump, which would also require the cape.
But interestingly enough, if we find mitts, then we know that we don't necessarily need a canfly to get down here, because we have access from the buyer area.
Right. I gotta run upstairs real quick. Again, I'll be right back.
Mitts in Mire would be absolutely ridiculous. We did see a check of pod. Eykir did everything that you could. We determined where the last item is. It is on Helma King, and he's gotten everything else out of it. So to actually finish pod, we need to see a bow. There's one other item, but you need to be able to get to the right side. And of course, you can't fight Helma without the bow anyway, so that's not really something we're thinking about right now. More to, where is said bow? It's probably what both of our runners are thinking right now. Alright, Eykir having a little bit of trouble with that wall jump to get out of the plasma beam room, but he is now free. Yeah, at this juncture, I wouldn't be surprised to see either the green pendant turn-in being important, or a double dip required logically to Swamp Palace. Omega Wild, that is correct. You need the bow to shoot the Eykir statue to access... Ooh, you want to pick that up, Iris. That is the best item in all of Super Metroid. The Spring Ball! Yeah, there's an Eykir statue before the basement pod that you need to shoot with a bow. There's no other way to access Helmasaur.
Alrighty, I'm back, folks. Did I miss anything in the Lower North Fair escape?
Yeah, missed a Spring Ball!
Spring Ball!
Yeah, the Franker Z missiles with a Spring Ball. Iris thought about it, turned around, picked it up, and she's probably headed back to Link to the Past.
Alrighty, what do we have? Okay, that hook shot gets us access to a bunch more things, but we don't have it in Logic yet.
That is correct. That hook shot gives us access to Swamp. Iris is going to show us something that was more recently discovered that's actually kind of neat. So without Speed Booster, she can just go ahead, shoot some garbage tiles in the ceiling, and the game just like, alright, you may pass, and walk right through a wall.
I remember the first time I ever saw that, I was commentating Aussie 101 versus HGF Wesker in the last tournament we had. Kateri, if you're in chat, I remember you were my co-commentator that day, and I was just completely mind blown.
So with that out of logic hookshot, we will know very shortly here what exactly is in Swamp Palace.
And if anybody wants to see the clip of my mind being blown, I just put it in the chat. Omega Wild, what are the... I don't remember. Pod and Swamp are the 5-6 crystals, so yeah, we could have boots on Pyramid Fairy. Hut's 12, we have had a pet check, it's just an energy tank.
Yeah, most of our more fun locations have already been checked. That is correct. We do need another sword for go mode. So we cannot damage Ganon with a fighter sword. We need at least master. No, to this point, we haven't seen either of our runners check the Bombos tablet. I would imagine that they're waiting for the mitts, if necessary, to actually do the Smith chain, because it's more friendly routing that way. Putz 12, unfortunately, we aren't finding our Titan's bits yet, so talking about Hookshot Cave is a little premature. But we're waiting to see where those turn up. It is indeed for Swordless Seas, the hammer is your weapon against Ganon, and of course, hammer strats aren't the most friendly thing to begin with.
Ryusu, honestly, I feel like that is the finest commentary moment I've ever had.
Not yet. She just grabbed it.
Alrighty, we've got Eykir also making the swamp play.
The front of swamp is in logic, so there is probably something here on left side. The back of swamp Iris can finish out of logic because she's broken for that hook shot.
Yeah, my guess would be that we'll find something here that'll get us into Lower Norfair and therefore get us to that hook shot that Iris found. There is a heart container. How many prizes are in swamp? 6, I think?
Yeah, swamp is one of the more dense areas for a total number of checks. I do not remember the exact number. There's our Titan's Mitt.
Can Eykir get to those, or...?
Oh, he most certainly can. And a second sword.
Swamp was absolutely the play. Oh no, Eykir can't get to that sword, can he?
No, Eykir can get to the mitt and the sword. He cannot get to the back to fight Argus.
Oh, okay.
So this means that Swamp was logically required to be double-dipped, and that our logical access to Lower Norfair was through Mire.
Well then.
Yeah, a little weird, isn't it?
Alrighty, so what else? So that means I believe we're looking for the boots, and what else to hit go mode?
You need the boots and the bow, and I think that would spell it. That means Iris breaking into Lower Norfair by doing a lava dive is going to be a very good routing boon for her.
I think at this point I would say Iris has the advantage, but I don't want to really call a lead until someone hits go mode.
Chad is pointing out something that's actually important and correct. We do need a logical go mode through a canfly item, whether that is the space jump or bombs. So we'll probably see one of those two at some point. We could also see Speed Booster to get to Gauntlet.
Is a Speed Booster considered logical access to Gauntlet, or is it only canfly that gets you there?
You can Shine Spark up to it. Oh, I thought Chat told us we can do that earlier. I might be mistaken.
I did not ask that specific question earlier, so I was just wanting to clarify.
It says morph and either a canfly or speed booster to put it in logic. So that would mean, yeah.
Thank you for checking. Very clean Argus fight from Iris. Gets her 50 bucks and crystal number 2. We also still haven't seen her turn in that green pendant.
The more we open up, with the more progress we do here, that pendant may or may not actually have something we need. We do have now all of Turtle Rock, East Death Mountain, or East Dark Mountain, rather. And chat wisely pointing out there is one more item left in Swamp. The big key was in the back, so we're going to have to go back in and get that big chest.
Right, it looks like Eykir is going to check that Bombos tablet. Oh no, he's got the master. He can just get it. For a buck. Oof.
A whole $1.
Failure to communicate. She didn't have the big key when she went past it the first time. But it's just a +5 bomb capacity.
So Eykir now probably going to get these few checks here in the Mire area. See that Mire requires Bombos Medallion, has that if he wants to take a dip to look for just the 2 items that are in there. I think the more likely cause of action here would be run into Lower Norfair and say hello to Ridley.
Iris is making the play to Ice Palace, which is another crystal. Eykir making the play to Tucker Morcade, which I believe, if I recall correctly, was just power bombs.
Our big key of the first chest of Ice Palace. Interesting.
What does that mean for the layout? What does big key being that early mean for the layout of Ice Palace? Anything specific? Looks like Iris going for the icebreaker strap real quick.
She's trying to line herself up on the right pixel to do it. There's a few different setups you can use for the icebreaker here. She is just trying to frame into the right spot.
The Eykir doing his gold Torizo fight. But he sees the items are nothing doing, so he just quits out.
And there it is.
Very nice. Now, one of the other changes made to the Super Metroid side of the logic is that Charge Beam is possible to no longer be logically required, so it can be in Ganon's tower. And looking at Eykir's ammo count, he can comfortably finish the game without that Charge Beam.
Yeah, absolutely. Charge Beam would be a nice thing to have right now, but not necessarily something you need to see. As Iris finds a key.
Alrighty, where's Eykir gonna head now?
Looks like Eykir is right on her heels, just like we had the other way around early in this race.
Yep, looking like Eykir's heading for Ice Palace. Iris, I don't think it's been 8.5 hours.
I don't know. I liked it when the minute said 3.5.
Get the map out of the big chest. Well done. And what are those penguin dealios called?
Pengators. Exactly as it says on the tin.
So yeah, Eykir using bomb shots on the pengators there, probably because he's only got that master sword.
Yeah, also not having hookshot.
Oh, that's right. Hookshot does one-hit kill them, doesn't it?
It sure does. Interesting. He's chosen to flip the switch when he goes down here, so he's going to be able to drop the block right into Cold Stare. Whereas Iris has to use the Cane of Samaria.
How many prizes have we seen?
I think we've seen all but one, and the last one will be on Cold Stare.
Gotcha. Iris looks like she's electing to go for use the fire rod to melt Cold Stare shell, which means she won't have as many fire rod shots for the pops, but it doesn't take as long as using bombos. Ooh, gets a hit just the wrong time. Can't keep them grouped at all.
So we're gonna have a bunch of floating clouds here. She'll be able to wrestle them up real quick. There's one down.
And she had a green potion. Yeah, plus she's sitting on red mail, so there's two down. And that's it. Well done. For a heart piece.
All for a piece of heart. And she gets a refill that she was going to get anyway. Alright, so at this point we know we need one of just a few things. We need a can fly to put the item in Gauntlet in logic.
That was the fire rod.
Indeed it was. We need boots to finish Desert off.
We need Bow to finish Pod.
And Eastern.
And Eastern. But I think that's it.
Which means the only play that's open to her right now is East Dark Mountain, Hookshot Cave, Turtle Rock.
Blue Smoke. Eykir's timer is normal. Iris is just memeing. So you said East Dark Death Mountain?
Yep. Super Bunny Cave, Hookshot Cave, Turtle Rock.
Alrighty.
And chat continuing to remind us, Iris has picked up the green pendant by fighting Mothula. It has yet to turn it in. That could very well be our bow.
I was gonna get another... What was this? No missiles. Just missiles. Okay, so Iris has been playing for infinity hours now?
I'd be a little bit concerned if a seed took us almost half a day.
We don't have access to Hookshot Cave until we find the boots, right? Because you have to bonk into it.
No, it's a liftable rock. It's a heavy rock, like this one right here.
Oh, it's liftable. My mistake.
Yeah, the Light World, it's a bonkable rock, and it gives you a fairy guaranteed every time.
Alright, in the meantime, Iris is just going to head for Turtle Rock. Turned out we needed bombos for it. So, Quick and Ether are not required, so the fake powder for the bat just did not pay off.
And of course, Eykir taking care of his visit to Cold Stare.
Okay,
I like
she
the
just
routing decision, yeah.
yeah, she just wanted. I guess she just wanted to check it first.
What she did is she checked it, opened the entrance, and now she can just walk up to it after getting these 6 checks here.
Got it. So there's 2 in Super Bunny and 4 in Hookshot Cave, correct?
That is right. And the 7th item would be the floating island, which we know is just a missile pack. We're not going to be seeing that.
Meantime, Super Bunny had our last bottle. I would also like to note that we are 2 hours and 45 minutes in, and we only have Master Sword. Oh, she's pissed about that nope tag.
Oh, that soda can is just not in the spot that you want to see it. There are your boots, though.
Yep, that's our Pegasus boots. Gotta go fast. And $1 and $20.
That's going to speed this up nicely. We'll probably be done before the 10-hour mark. Kappa.
Meantime, looks like Eykir is going for hammer pegs and possibly the Smith chain.
That's what it looks like. We're going to do Smith chain. Hammer peg's just a big 20.
I think Iris is frustrated.
I'm not sure if she's slashing out of anger or if she's just slashing out of boredom. She's like, I want to go faster than this.
Alrighty, that is now all 3 shields accounted for.
And it looks like the Smiths gave out a speed booster for our trouble today.
Alrighty, that is our access to what's it called? The Gauntlet.
That is our logical access to Gauntlet. It also gives us 1 check that we have not seen, and that is the waterway. As Eykir picks up his 3rd battalion. We know that's not needed, but peace of mind is peace of mind. We did see a check of criteria power bombs. It wasn't anything worth remembering, or I would be able to tell you what it was.
Looks like we just got Speed Omega Wild from the Smith.
Yeah. Oh, power bombs, you're right. We didn't check that one. I'm thinking about shaft supers, my bad. Yeah, Eykir did check the shaft supers. He knows he doesn't need to go see that one. The power bombs are now available because you can shine spark up to them.
Bunny beam.
So, we are running out of places where we can find that bow.
Yeah, okay, Pod is a crystal, so bow can't be on Pyramid Fairy.
We've already seen the front checks of both Eastern and Desert, so it has to be either Green Pendant or it's on Lamo and Desert.
Back of Desert, maybe further into Turtle Rock, or have we seen all the prices?
No, we haven't seen them all yet. Could be Mimic Cave as you're going through Turtle Rock here. Chat still thinks King's Tomb or Green Pendant are the big 2.
The Bog Rock spot is another possibility.
Yeah, now that those boots have become available, that puts that in logic as well.
Alrighty, let's see Mimic Cave. There's our third sword. That's awesome.
Yeah, that sword's going to make the rest of this game extremely comfortable. It's also going to save you a good amount of time on the Trinex fight. You see, she's picking up the Cane of Burna, and she's thinking, why couldn't you be a cape?
Yeah. What was she pause buffering for there? I've not seen whatever she was trying to do.
I'm not sure what she was doing there either. And Eykir choosing to save and quit.
Eykir's back into Super Metroid. He's going to take that speed booster down to Croc to check the last couple items there. Because we never saw Indiana Jones. That could be the bow, too.
I'll stop the presses there because there's our bow.
Welp.
And that means at 2 hours and 49 minutes and 40-some seconds, Iris has entered Go mode.
Awesome! Iris now needs a small key to get finish the trek to Trinex. There's the map. There's the compass. Come on, don't do this.
Come on, chat. Let's see some more hype for Go mode for Iris.
Yeah, Iris gonna set her respawn point by popping in and out. Please be a small key in the chest.
Kind of has to be, right?
I don't know what I wasn't quite sure what we hadn't seen. I've been paying attention to Eykir mostly.
Yeah, it's the last location that you can check in the dungeon. It has to be a small key. Eykir getting stuck underneath these speed booster blocks. Not going to be able to go all the way to Croc here without getting more speed up.
Yeah, I think he was firing as he was going, and he ran into a frozen enemy. That will always stop you dead. Alrighty, Trinex.
Finding that Tempered Sword again, making this a very much easier fight than it would have been without. Just 4 or 5 slashes each time, and those 2 heads are done.
I thought Eykir had killed Crocomire. No, he reset to a save before he did this.
Yeah, he did Crocomire earlier, but he saved above Croc between this and the Croc escape, checked the first couple items, and then noped out.
Well, unfortunately, now that Iris is in Go mode, we know this is not going to pay off for him. So I prefer to say this is Iris's race to lose at this point.
Absolutely. Some of the choices that she made to break the logic, and some of the choices that she made when the logic pointed her in the right direction, have given Iris one heck of a lead at this point. So while Iris contemplates her next move to finish off those last few crystals, let's just give everyone here a reminder to follow these 2 runners and anyone else participating in the tournament round of 48 bracket. And of course, we're going to say once for this moment, a thank you to our sponsor for this tournament as well, Rank 1 Global. They've generously provided a prize package for the top 4 players that finish here. And as a community, that whether or not you are looking for other people that run your game, or you want to see what some of your favorite runners are playing on the side, look no further than the social network for gamers, Rank1.global. Now
I should sign up for that. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, I should probably do it too, but yeah. Oh, it's just the swag net on pantry missiles.
That was unusual. The first bonk did, Iris's first bonk didn't take.
Yeah, I almost never see that bonk miss.
I wasn't even aware it could miss.
So Iris taking that pair of boots into desert, she's just going to go ahead and say, screw it, I don't need anything else.
Now, I haven't seen her ammo counts recently, but considering how far in we are, I would be very surprised if she doesn't have enough ammo to finish Super Metroid.
If it's anything like Eykir, she's absolutely in the clear for that. But also, if she gets a Zeb skip, then it's not even a contest. She could just go straight to Mother Brain and shoot her down.
Eykir specifically, he has enough to just destroy the Zebatites, like you would normally, and he'd still be fine. Looks like Eykir is heading to Red Ship to check the item that he bailed on earlier.
He's chasing the speed booster. Not checking this is going to burn him a little bit here. Iris had a look at it. She knows it's just a super missile, so even if she found the speed booster, she knows she doesn't have to come back. Eykir checking everything that the speed booster unlocks is going to cost him a good amount of time and take him away from the actual target.
Right. Iris gets 2 Lambos on the first cycle, 1 on the second for a heart. And that is now 5 crystals. Pod and Eastern are the 6th and 7th. Those will be real quick. And then after we've done those, we will have the Gannis Tower Big Key guessing game. Because there are 22 locations where that big key can be.
It's going to come a lot sooner than we think it does. This Pod to Eastern play is actually very quick. Chat pointing out they're surprised that Eykir's not yet doing Lower Norfair. Honestly, as a commentator, I'm a little bit shocked by that too. He's had access to it since he found the Titan's Mitten Swamp. That'll give him the hookshot that he needs to finish out Swamp. Now he checks it, and he resets.
I'm honestly puzzled as to why Eykir didn't check that when he was in Red Ship the first time, the way Iris checked it. Because doing it that way doesn't take that long, and it's a heck of a lot quicker than coming back to do it like Eykir just had to.
Yeah, chat pointing out that with just high jump and no actual cam fly item, worst room in the game and the screw attack room are not exactly free rooms to get out of. Worst room in the game, of course, being a very tight wall jump, like a few that we've seen him struggle with in this race. A lot harder if you don't have the high jump boots. It's like a pixel, maybe a few.
Alrighty, he's into Retro Brain. I'm not sure. He's checking Waterway.
Yeah, he's routing Waterway, and this is probably the fastest way to get to it. Just a little short on that power bomb placement. I can't tell you how many times I've done that.
Nobody is immune to making mistakes like that.
Yeah, even one tile off doesn't feel very good, but anyone can do it. Iris getting her 2 keys on the right side of Pod.
Alrighty, she's heading back to the front.
The big key was vanilla, right? That's all she needs.
Yes, the big key was in the vanilla location, right off to Iris's right.
The stories in the chat proving why it's called worst room in the game. I'm pretty sure everyone at some point in their history, whether you're playing casually or you're being a runner, has had a struggle with that particular room. Lives up to its namesake for sure.
Iris now sitting pretty on 2 keys and is heading for the back. Alrighty. There's an arrow to the Igor statue's eye. What's Eykir got on his mind now?
Oh, I'm a little bit confused as to what Eykir's trying to do here.
Is he heading for Dark Ice Rod to backdoor into Meridia again?
I thought he checked all of Meridia, though.
I thought so too.
I can't think of any other reason why he would route it in this direction, though. The bow was on Laser Bridge, the first chest. The hook shot is in Lower Norfair in the Mickey Mouse room. And Chad Round pointing out in chat that Eykir has not checked the aqueduct area. He did not do a snail clip, and now that he has Speed Booster, that's probably where he's thinking he needs to go.
Right. Meantime, 17 whacks with the hammer to break the King Helmasaur's mask, and then 1 silver arrow to the jewel, and down he goes.
Iris is 6 arrows away from having her... well, technically it's 9, actually. From having her 7th crystal. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Eykir that Lower Norfair is quite literally the play here, because in his eyes, he's looking for that Camfly to be able to make it more comfortable for him. And on Iris' side, we have not seen where that cape is, despite knowing that Space Jump is on Bumper Ledge.
Alrighty, Iris blazing her way through the back of the Eastern.
Yeah, chat asking who is currently in the lead. Iris has a commanding lead right now as we cross the 3-hour mark.
Ooh, Iris missed the red Igor, fired the shot too early. And her timer just went completely insane.
There are those 6 arrows I was talking about.
Alrighty, that is crystal number 7. So get your guesses in chat now which location the Ganon Tower Big Key will be in. I'm going with what I always go, 4 always wins.
I like to hop all over the place today. I'm feeling 8. I'm saying 8.
And that right there is why Deadrocks are the unofficial mascot of the randomizer.
We see the Troll Rock strikes again. How dare it? Now, Eykir's going to dip into Turtle Rock here. He can't actually finish this dungeon because the Ice Rod also is in Lower Norfair.
Tacronap's Cannon Fly can be Space Jump, or it can be Whirlpool Bombs for the Infinite Bomb Jump. I think Bob's chest, depending, is usually 16 or 17. I think
Iris,
forgot to hit the Dark World transition.
Yeah, she almost paid Tower of Hero a 3rd visit, and you're done with everything in there at this point. And another Troll Rock.
Are you not able to jump down from that portal to get to Ganon's Tower? Oh, no. You jump down to get to that portal. Okay, derp.
Yeah, that portal is your access to Spectacle Rock. It doesn't go the other way around.
Gotcha. It's never come up before.
Yeah, this is a risky play for if you're in Eykir's position, because if you don't know what we know already, that double dip into Turtle Rock is going to cost you a lot of time to go back in and through.
Yeah, I have heard from various friends who played the LTTP randomizer, Gummo Turtle Rock is not significantly faster than full clear. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's very little time you can actually save in Turtle Rock because the way the dungeon is laid out is extremely linear. The only way you can do it in Go mode is if you get the big key before the big chest and you just skip that entire transition.
Alrighty, items 1 and 2 were nothing, so Iris is heading over to the east side. Small key on the torch for number 3. Crown Aquarium, the endgame of Super Metroid after meeting Ganon is about 10 minutes, maybe 12.
Here come 4 through 7, and it is in check number 4.
There it is, I win! Been a long time. Hat78, it's been quite a while since Iris has been in Super Metroid, but she was close to comfortable with what she had last I remember. Asmati Games, no, you can do the final bosses in either order. If you beat Mother Brain second, you just do the escape sequence as normal. If you beat Ganon second, all you have to do is walk through the door to finish.
The longest bridge in the entire game.
I have heard horror stories about people falling off that bridge.
The rumors are not false. People do that all the time. Just not in this tournament.
A0, no, I don't think anything relevant was speed locked. Oh yes, Gauntlet. Razor Flame is right. Gauntlet. The Speed Booster was our logical access to Gauntlet.
And that Fire Rod is very much required for this seed.
Iris into the escalating gauntlet. Start off with conveyors and BMOs is what you said they were called?
The BMOs with an O.
BMOs. So start off with lasers and BMO. Start off with BMOs and conveyors. Then add spikes. Then add ice. Why? Just why, Ganon? Why?
He waits till this late in the game to give us that much of a challenge. That's the why I want to ask him.
Okay, so it looks like Iris has been running for 8 minutes at this point.
Having a little bit of trouble with these landmos here.
They're just not cooperating at all. It's 2 spins for the landmos, right? With tempered?
Yeah, it's 2 spins tempered, or 3 or 4 shots. So this one's just got 1 hit, and down he goes.
Eykir using the Cane of Burna here. Iris showing us her prowess as an author by writing a novel called The Wizrobe Massacres. And then the sequel. Oh, no, she did not write the sequel. Normally that would be The Wizrobe Massacres 2, Electric Boogaloo.
She left us on a cliffhanger there.
Yeah, one of these days we'll get The Wizrobe Massacres 3, Tokyo Drift.
And now with his bow, Eykir is going to go ahead and finish out Pod. And I would imagine that he's going to go ahead and mirror into Eastern right after that. But he's not going to be done with either of those before Iris is done with this tower. To do a quick race recap, Eykir has not gone to Lower Norfair, while Iris decided to do a lava dive and broke the sequence. She found a hookshot in Lower Norfair. She also found an ice rod after defeating Ridley. There's the cape!
Alrighty, so...
Cape validation chest.
Right, so we can definitively say now Speed Booster was our access to the gauntlet.
And it also means that Eykir would have had to do something that he was possibly not comfortable with to get through Lower Norfair.
Trigonometry boss going on. Just a one hit to start off.
That's a nice double right there.
Follow up. That was very nice. Got another single, so 4 hits now out of 6. 5, 6. Very nice.
Very good. Well done by Iris.
Alright, so I believe with the Tempered Sword, it's 12 hits for phases 1 and 2. Then phase 3 is always 4 hits. And then that Silver Arrows is 4 shots after knocking Ganon with the sword.
Iris grabbing that lamp, getting set up for the torch glitch here. Just a moment. Assuming Ganon doesn't teleport 7 times.
The function of the torch glitch is that if you relight the left torch after it goes out, but before the right one goes out, the right one will never go out.
That is one baconed pig. Let's get a single G in chat for Iris, who is done with 1 game and just has Mother Brain to go. Meanwhile, we've seen Eykir finish off Helmasaur King. He is now going into the back of Eastern Palace to get his last crystal on this side of the world. Would be his 4th. And 125.70 is a very healthy amount of ammo for Iris. She's going to take this ship refill here just in case. Iris making her way down into Torian to visit our friends the Metroids. WRITG, or worst room in the game, referring to the room before Amphitheater with the metal pirates. It's very tough to get through that room without a certain amount of equipment. In the vanilla game, it's one of the easier ways to get through is just by using that space jump you get from Dragon. In Randomizer, a little bit ruder than that.
Alrighty, looks like Eykir has finished off the Armos Knights for his 4th crystal. This, unless Iris has a catastrophic failure, there's no way she doesn't win this. However, here's a little bit of a slowdown. She cannot knock those Metroids off of her because she doesn't have the Moorball bombs.
Which means she has to resort to 3 power bombs to give these Metroids their departure.
The Metroids take 5 hits each from the power bombs, but the power bombs can hit them twice apiece.
Aside from that one little hiccup, there were some very nice grouping strats done by Iris here.
Sorry if I went quiet for a bit a few minutes ago. My connection blipped.
Just going ahead and letting the baby take all that energy out. Rude is an interesting word for the pomp timer, to be completely honest with you. It's actually kept a smile on my face the entire race. Very nice Zeb skip setup by Iris there. And she's more than enough ammo to beat up this brain. I believe the ice beam was in Spiral Cave. And getting confirmation from our tracker. Thank you, Razorflame, for doing a good job tracking for us this entire race, keeping me and Bacht honest the whole way.
Meantime, we are at the restaurant in Mother Brain with some tater tots, onion rings, the French fry beam right there, and pretty soon we'll see her ultimate dish, the ketchup.
I would normally think of ketchup as being like a side dish. Not a side dish. It's a condiment. No, the rainbow sorbet is actually your dessert.
There's a glitch you can do to let you stand up during this fight and deal damage to Mother Brain Phase 3, but unfortunately that requires the charge beam, which, as we are aware, did not show itself.
Wouldn't be surprised if Charge Beam was hiding somewhere in Ganon's tower, or possibly on that green pendant. At this point, not really a consequence. The baby. Hit with grief and fueled by rage, Samus fires her own rainbows back at Mother Brain, taking her revenge for her lost child.
That Hyper Beam Samus has is 1,000 damage rapid fire. The Mother Brain Phase 3 has 36,000 health, so 36 shots, and she goes goodbye. Now, I was having a little connection trouble, so I apologize for not saying anything during the actual Mother Brain fight. But she has 18,000 health. Those super missiles did 300 apiece. That's their normal damage, so 60 of those would have done it.
Now Iris has 3 minutes to get out of dodge, and it shouldn't take her anywhere near that long. She does not have speed boosters, so we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way.
I love this music, though. It's so good, this track.
One tower climb. Chat calling for Iris to save the animals, and I'm thinking, no, not in a race setting, but any other time, yes please. And Eykir's going to give Ridley what his due. But everyone in chat, give it up for Iris. Give her some GGs as she finishes this race with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 24 seconds. She will go on to face Maniacal in the round of 32 in this bracket stage of this tournament.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
And Eykir making good work with Ridley. He is going to find his ice rod shortly and move on. Unfortunately for him, this is the end of the road. We do have Iris joining us in chat. Hello, Iris.
Hello there. Is my mic working properly?
You're a little bit quiet, but not terribly.
Okay, well, GG's, I guess. This was quite the seed.
Yes, GG. That seed took you all over the place, didn't it?
Yeah, kinda. Well, pendants are not required in the hand. This is one of the seeds that did not require pendant dungeons. No chat. I love animals. I would save them, but I already lost a race to saving the animals. So since then, I'm too scared of saving the animals if my opponent has not done yet. If I'm second, I save the animals. Don't worry.
So I have a couple questions to ask everybody, Iris. First question I'd like to ask you: is there anything about your routing decisions throughout the season that you felt particularly good about or bad about?
What do you mean with this? What? I'm not sure what the question is.
The way you routed the seed, was there anything about the way you routed that you really felt good about or that you really felt bad about?
Well, I usually want to skip my check if it is attendance, especially here because it got me logged in and there was hookshot later in Law and Offer, so that part felt a bit bad, but I saw so many people in the VOD of my previous race just yelling at me, Iris, why did you not check Meyer? That I kinda had to do it. This time it was a bad play though. Otherwise, well, I think I did pretty well.
Alrighty. And the other question I like to ask is, on a letter grade scale, how much fun did you have with the seed?
This seed, well, I killed Shack 2 by accident, so that removed a bit of fun. I stayed there a few seconds to apologize, like damaging myself. That's like 3 apologies. But it's fun to have a major item on Shack 2 if it's not required. Yeah, it is just a globally enjoyable seed. Wow, early game, the crab there was another death, something I forgot. Sure, that's not great, but the seed turned out to be quite nice.
It really surprised me just how slow the progression was there in the middle part, and then how much it blew open right at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising how, like, that sequence brings to Law and Offer for the hookshot avoided a double dip in Swamp. Then it was Myths, and it was Myths unlocked a bunch of things. There was the logical access to Law and Offer because the cave was in validation chest. which was not expected by myself. And there are the boots that require the hook-shots in Hookshot Cave, and the bow in Turtle Rock, which I see that Eykir got. He got the bow, which surprises me a little bit.
He was putting off Lower Norfair for quite a while.
Yeah, we think Eykir was looking for that space jump, which means he was trying to find the cape. Of course, we saw you picked it up at the Validation Chest of GT. He found bombs in Spike Cave for a can fly to get up the worst room in the game.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, you can do that jump with high jump too, or springboard if you really want, but well, springboard was in the escape, so I think high jump was really the only option. Wow, with those mothball bombs. I'm not really sure there was any other way to do it.
And the one thing I saw you say in chat is like, chat was saying the entire time after you beat up Mothula that why haven't you checked Green Pendant? We're guaranteeing the bows on Green Pendant. You said you just forgot about it, right?
Yeah, I just forgot. I wanted to route my entire Dark World at the same time, like Skull Woods, because City Skull Woods is not that slow. Then I think I did how is it called? That cave I got plasma to the north of the Dark World. Graveyard Ledge. I did Graveyard Ledge, I got plasma, and plasma just made me think I should go and Super Metroid. I want to do Law and Order. I don't have charge, I don't have screw attack, it's a bit dangerous. Well, in the end I went into Meridia, which seemed to be in the good place somehow. It was quite a weird scene. Quite weird. But yeah, I completely forgot about that Green Pendant. That's actually just forgetting.
Well, it turns out it didn't hurt you in the end, so it's not a bad thing to have forgotten in this case.
Yeah, luckily. Well, pendant dungeons are always scary, but thanks for breaking the Steve Stone pendant streak though. All my races so far, except this one, at Steve Stone being a pendant, is just so annoying. But this time, it was a crystal, so thanks. I could just do it without being worried and things like that. No one likes Steve Stone pendant, I guess.
Pendant Thieves Town is kind of rude. It can have an item in the front, it can have an item in the back. It's one of those easier dungeons to finish, and it's not something you want to see.
It's always logic, but do we really want to do it? That's why crystal is just really handy. In that case, they're just there like, just do it. It's easy game. I think AK forfeited, but I don't see them in the chats. Or, I mean, in the voice chat, so I'm not sure if they withdrawn or if you forget to send the invites, maybe.
Yeah, we can confirm that Eykir did forfeit the SRL channel, and I don't know if we want to get him in for an interview, Bocht.
I don't mind that a bit. Long if you want to, if you'd like to talk about the seed, go on, send me.
And there is Eykir. Perfect.
And great attempt, Eykir.
Yeah, Eykir GG, welcome to the chat. So what were you thinking the entire time trying to find where your progression was?
At which point? There were multiple times.
Well, we saw you dip into Swamp House without the hook shot.
Yep, I didn't have a hook shot for that. It's like, I think it was one of the few places I had left to go. It's like, okay, there's got to be something here. And there was something on left side Titan's Mitts, which let me progress farther. Morph Ball was one. It was like last location. Titan's Mitts, finding the bow and Turtle Rock, I was tipping without the ice rod.
Well, logically, you had to do that swamp double dip. It was that or doing a lava dive for a gravity jump up to Law and Order.
Yeah, the seed was telling you to double dip swamp, logically.
Yeah, I found also like pretty much last location the Morph Ball bombs, which also let me get to Ridley.
You can do that jump with high jump if you did not know.
I know I can, but I was struggling with those jumps like all game.
Yeah,
was...
yeah. Wall jumps were just not being kind to you at all.
They weren't. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've had to use high jump only to get out of Norfair.
Right,
So
so
sorry for it.
right, here I have a couple questions I ask everyone. First one being, in terms of the routing decisions you made throughout the seed, was there anything you felt particularly good about or particularly bad about?
I liked my first early play going right to Super Metroid and getting that Varia. I'm like, okay, cool. So they get to the mountain, I can go straight in. And then there was
I agree. That was a very good play. Paid off in spades.
Funny, so I did a practice run yesterday, and Barry's in the exact same location.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I had kind of the same reasoning. But yeah, it was quite an interesting progression sequence. I'm not used to see Morph Ball late anymore.
Definitely was, and I was thinking the entire time I was looking for the next piece of progression. It's like I know it's gonna be more ball bombs because that's what the seed is gonna be giving us. It's not gonna be cape.
Right, and
Yeah.
my other question is, letter grade scale. How much fun did you have / are you having?
Morph Ball being at Power Alpha is just funny. There's just something funny now I think about it. It is the worst location it can be had as a Metroid. That's just okay then. That's just funny.
I agree with that. That was a hilarious location once I realized it's like, oh my god, it's got to be there. It just has to be because it gave us everything to get there. And it's been a long time since I've had one like that.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. I think I saw that in the last tournament we did back around winter 2018, 2019.
Yeah, with my struggles, I'd give it about a C. The C was pretty much having you do everything, having me do everything.
Gotcha.
In the hand, we did not have to dip abandoned dungeon. I don't know if you noticed that. We did not have any pendant dip while you cleared tower for a 2, I think. Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm. Yep, hair
Like
was
it's
empty.
even-
You never went to mire.
Yeah.
Skull was empty. I still the only thing I had left to do pretty much was the Skull was boss to get the green pendant, which I never did.
Yeah, there was nothing there either. Well, maybe on green pendant, but I forgot to check it.
Right, such an out of the way check. I was doing lots of out of the way checks. You'll see when we rewatch the
The whole
VOD.
seat was a lot of out of the way checks.
So here's something I'm curious about. What made the two of you decide to keep that screw attack instead of just resetting out of Shack Tool?
I killed Shark Tool. I wanted to apologize.
I like screw attack, so if I see it, I keep it. Even if check tool is there, it's like it's minor time loss. Who cares? It's easier to get through Ridley area with it.
Okay, just curious.
Well,
I'm
Iris, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't have anything else. I was hoping to ask. Do you have anything else?
Well, Iris, we already know you're moving on to phase against Maniacal. Eykir, what are your plans now that you're no longer in the bracket stages here? Probably going to keep up with us on SpeedGaming here?
I'll go back to tracking. I like tracking these races, so I'll be volunteering for those. And wishing Iris best of luck.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, in Maniacal, they're like, well, that guy is not the top one of the entire game anymore, but he was. So that's just how strong he is. Maybe with a lot of luck I can beat him, but I really don't have hope. But that could be a fun match. I will see that.
Well, you never know. Anything can happen at Rando.
Yeah, as the saying goes regarding American football, any given Sunday.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, Iris.
Yeah, thanks. I think I will need it.
Alrighty, like I said, I'm about out of questions to ask. Zarion, do you have anything else?
No, I think I'm good. Do either of you have anything else you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
I want to say thank you for the commentary and the restream and the trackers. You all do a great job.
Usual. As usual, thanks to our stream. Don't forget to follow our commentator. Don't forget to follow our tracker too. It's very important. You will underestimate the trackers all the time. Don't forget. Well, actually, I'm taking your job, commentators. I should not do that.
You're
Just
perfectly fine.
do
Don't
it.
forget, follow both these runners. Eykir might be done, but he's still doing all kinds of stuff on the side. Iris, on the other hand, she's still going. Give her your eyes as she continues on the way through the brackets. And a big thank you to our sponsor, Rank1.global, for the prize pool for this tournament.
Alrighty, with everything having been said, I think we're about ready to sign off for the day.
Have fun. Have a good morning, afternoon, night, wherever you may be.
Alrighty. Our racers have been Eykir and Iris Isotheis. My co-commentator has been Zeruvian. I've been Big Bucked. Any last words?
See you next mission.
See you next mission.
Next mission.
See you next mission.